Welcome back to the best division in football. That sounds really good, too, because it's really looking like the best division in football, man. An interesting week here, man. The Commanders and the Giants. Game concludes in a tie. I'm sure y'all saw that thumbnail. Definitely represents the way that me and the Beard both feeling. I'm coming in hot today. I'm coming in on a hot landing right now with the way the New York Giants finished out that game and how conservative of a game plan that was. But a lot to go around the league today, man. Baker Mayfield signed with the Los Angeles Rams, and according to the homie the Beard, he was saying they gave him the playbook on the plane. Might see some playing time here in the next week or two. We'll see what's going on. OBJ went to Dallas. You saw a lot of press, a lot of media. He was there at the Mavericks game with Micah Parsons, I believe it was, and a few other Dallas Cowboys. And the 49ers, they signed my guy, man. Shout out my guy one time, man. This kid definitely deserves a shot in the NFL. They signed quarterback Josh Johnson, who is pretty much the black version of your homie Fitzpatrick out here. But he's definitely played for a lot of different teams. And I'm looking forward to see his opportunity here. But at the same time, Jimmy Garoppolo, they said that he's not going to need foot surgery. I know Jimmy Garoppolo's trying to get to that bag. It doesn't look like he's going to be the quarterback next year in San Fran, but this might be his last run. But interesting way that this NFC playoff picture is shaping out as well, too. The Philadelphia Eagles sitting at the number 1 spot. Vikings number 2, followed by the 49ers. The Bucks, those are all the division winners. The Cowboys would have the 5th spot here. The Giants still hanging tough after losing 3 out of our last 5 games. Still in the 6th position here. And the Seattle Seahawks with Geno Smith with a good comeback victory there on Sunday. They're sitting at the 7th spot. And the guy I'm about to bring in here one time, his squad is sitting out just outside of the playoff picture, waiting on our New York Giants to take an L this week to the Philadelphia Eagles. But y'all know what it is, man. The best co-host in the country is backstage. Let's welcome my brother, your brother, the strong side to the left side, my guy. The Beard is in the building one time. And I'm going to keep it funky with you real quick. Oh, we didn't coordinate this either.
No,
I like that hat,
we
though.
We did not coordinate it.
But I will say this, just the way you just popped up, you feeling a little better about this tie than I am. I've been hot for about 2 straight days, 48 hours. I've been in spaces with the homies. We've been chopping it up. We've been talking football since that tie. This is the first tie since 1997 for the New York Giants, and we coincidentally tied against the Washington, formerly known as the Redskins, now known as the Commanders. But how you feeling today, man? How was your day? How's everything been? You looking like you had a good day.
I mean, no, it's been a long day of work. But no, it's just, I get this like sometimes 30 minutes or so of pre-show authentic, right? So today I got like 40 minutes of pre-show authentic.
I was like, you got to pull up backstage. I got a lot to talk about.
I'm like, so yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Authentic is on a roll today. This is just a precursor to let everybody know. No, I mean, this is it. We're in uncharted waters right now between, Awthentik and The Beard, the New York Giants, and the Washington Commanders. This is, we're getting ready to go into week 14, right? We're 7 weeks away from divisional round of playoffs. So like there's every game now moving forward means something. So every week, every game, you're going to be talking about playoff picture. You're going to be talking about tiebreakers. You're going to be talking about, can this team beat this team?
Eliminations.
Eliminations. This week we have the first week, I believe, of possible clinches. So I think
Philadelphia Eagles can clinch.
They can clinch. I want to say there's maybe like 2 other scenarios of teams that can either clinch or be eliminated this week.
Stan was hitting me up in my DMs about this, actually. I think the Vikings are another team that could clinch this week. They could clinch their division. That's what it is.
Yeah, and there's shout out Marjorie says Beard looks like he just came from a logging competition. and this is a lot of weird stuff going on in the NFL right now, and there's teams that are in it that should be in it. There's teams that are in it that shouldn't be in it, according to, the beginning of the year. And there's just a lot of teams that you thought were going to be really good that aren't really good. There's random people playing quarterback. We had quarterbacks coming back, quarterbacks getting hurt. Like, it's just, there's a lot going on to digest in the NFL. And, I've come to accept where we fall in the grand scheme of things. I've come to
you definitely have a it is what it is vibe. I feel it. I'm feeling the energy.
Yeah. I mean, like, what am I like? We're have a winning record right now, like, and this is what's interesting is the teams are pretty much falling where I thought they would. The Eagles according to the Beard's preseason predictions. Obviously, the Eagles are a tad bit better than what I thought they were, but I still put them as one of the best teams in the NFL. I had the Giants with a winning record. I had the Commanders with a winning record.
You did.
I had the Cowboys with a winning record. I had everybody in the NFC East with a winning record. The Cowboys, I think, are the biggest surprise, especially considering the fact that they won all those games with Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to talk about that a lot more throughout the next couple of weeks, how important that run was really for, the Dallas Cowboys. But I didn't expect to be where we are right now, and a tie too. So now I gotta write an extra one in all the tickers for the rest of the year.
Oh God, it's annoying.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
so it's just this is the last thing I really expected. And the thing is both of those teams could have won that game. Both of those teams should have won that game, and both of those teams should have lost that game. So I guess a tie is pretty much fitting. It's just we're in a weird situation right now going into week 14. Week 13 really didn't clarify much. It just made things more complicated. So, we're here to break down the complication. I thought I was done with math classes, but here we are, throwing out new equations and trying to figure things out. But it's going to be an interesting show, and I'm excited because, Awthentik got me pulling me in all different types of directions.
I had to get you right for this episode because this was
before
going
we
to be a
even
good
got
one.
started, you were sending me text messages and planting this craziness in my head about Daniel Jones and the Washington Commanders.
Oh yeah, I was like, would you take him right now? Would you take Daniel Jones over there with the Commanders? We don't have to discuss what your answer was. We don't even have to discuss what your answer was.
But yeah, we definitely appreciate each and every one of you guys for joining us today. If you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, or Twitter, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up while you guys are here on YouTube. We're going to say some quick shout outs really quick. And then we're going to jump right into some interesting, programming notes here on Awthentik and the Beard. So big shout out to Sean G. Somebody paged Coach Taylor. Coach Taylor's probably still partying from 54 points. So
he definitely was hitting up the comments section like, Awthentik, did you see it? Did you see it?
Yeah.
He scored 50. He definitely scored 50. I couldn't believe that. Wow. Shout out J-Mo. Shout out Sean G, too, in the building.
Big shout out Sean G. Says, what's good, guys? Appreciate you stopping by, Sean G, as always. Our guy, Chris Peace, always holding us down in the world of Twitter. Shout out to Chris Peace. I'm sure we will be
Chris
seeing.
Chris Peace was there for the cooking session today.
I saw the memes. It looked like I was watching the cooking channel. You could Ninja Chef or whatever they call it.
Oh yeah, that looked like a little bit like if I was in the kitchen trying to cook because it was some big fires. We definitely had to put out some fires in that space today, man. Shout out Chris Peace though one time in the building.
And big shout out to Stan. Awthentik and I were laughing at this comment before we started. He's been waiting to see what the thumbnails were going to look like after our first matchup. You're going to have to wait and see what it looks like after the next matchup. God forbid we don't end in another tie. I want to say there's been a team that has had two ties within the last 10 years. I don't want to get
nowhere near that. I don't want to get nowhere near that.
Big shout out to the brand new avatar.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Michael Knight.
Michael Knight in the building. What's going on, fam?
Appreciate you stopping by, sir. Lax Fo is in the building. What's going on, brother? Thank you for stopping by. Marjorie is in the building. Shout out to Marjorie, always holding us down in the chat with the Marge bombs. Thank you very much for joining us there. And then we got another Cowboys fan in the building, Kai001. Says, what's up, fam? Appreciate you stopping by, Kai, to celebrate your Cowboys major victory, which we will talk about, and I will give you my weekly dose of Cowboys hate later on in this episode. Big shout out to Sebastian in the building. What's going on, Sebastian? Appreciate you joining us. This comment by Sean G.
Facts, yo. Facts. Crazy.
That is too funny. Big shout out to Stan. Says, because Washington has a tie now, they get us on prime time where we struggle at home, come off scouting us for 3 weeks. If I was a Beard, I'd be happy to compare to a Giants fan right now.
Facts.
And got a lot of Cowboys fans coming through today.
Hey, listen, shout out to How About Them Boys. How About Them Boys pulled up on the Giant Overreaction.
Yes.
New subscriber over here, man. Had some great takes in the chat. Very balanced, unbiased opinions, man. Big salute to you, brother. I appreciate you pulling up today.
And then here we go. Says, I'm pulling up to the Washington Giants game. Hopefully I'll catch y'all there. Can't wait to watch that game as a football fan. Yes, we will definitely be there, and we'll be announcing more information as we get closer to that game. So for those of you that will be attending, can join us for our annual Awthentik and The Beard tailgate party at
Green
the
Lot
Giants.
E is where we're going to be
Green Lot
at.
E. Probably Sprinkle Me E40, generally around that section. I talked to Nick. He said, I'll be there when the gates open. I said, all right, we're going to try our best to be there right when the gates open as well. Sabrina's in the building. Good to see you as always, Sabrina.
Sabrina.
Excuse me. Crypto Moves says, what a game. In the famous words, we let them off the hook.
Ooh, I know that's right, dog.
G-Man. Thanks for your awesome commentary and insight one time. We appreciate you stopping by as always. And look, you know, I've been noticing Monique's been coming around a little bit more as of late.
Oh, yeah.
As these
you get them
Cowboys.
big W's. You know, you kind of want to walk with a little strut. You got the pimp shoes with the fish in the bottom of them. You know, you got your walk going. I get it. Monique.
Hey.
You wasn't around early in the season when Cooper Rush was taking over and things were looking a little dicey.
Yeah, she's back. She's back, Jack. And listen, I want to give a big shout out to this person because for those of you that don't know, I have this issue where I say miles per hour. I just want to give a big shout out to Naur. Now you guys know I'm not that crazy.
Noor. It's probably Noor.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know a couple of homies. I want to say they can't remember where they from, but I want to say it's Noor. I could be wrong.
Big shout out. R. Zero
That's my
B.
guy. Hey,
he came through.
Rob, you was cooking today. I was so hot talking to the Beard backstage about how much you was cooking today. 5 out of 5. I'm talking about Michelin stars for my man Rob Zero. He was cooking today. Salute, my dude.
Look, we even got some Eagles love in the house. Shout out to the Vito Show.
Shout out to the Vito Show. Hey, and one more thing about Rob.
Yes?
Make sure y'all go follow him on Twitter. It's the exact same name I believe you see on YouTube here. Make sure y'all go follow him. Keep an eye on his spaces. He's doing a grand, fantastic job with those spaces representing the New York Giants community. I've been in those spaces probably for the last 4 or 5 days. They talk football all day long, so big salute to you, fam.
And a big shout out to our guy. No Mets, no Nets, no Jets in the building. Appreciate you as always, my brother. So it's it's pretty crazy. This story that broke earlier about, OBJ and what Dallas said that based upon the physical, the Dallas Cowboys are not sold on OBJ being ready to play anytime soon.
Hey, I ain't falling for nothing right now. When they say he signed with this team, that's when I'll believe it all. I've been seeing the reports myself, man. People, you should have saw when they was posting the videos of him walking, coming to the court with the Cowboys players. Man, there was Giants fans in their feelings like, it's over. I can't believe he did it. He had stars on his jacket. They were like, he's got on a Cowboys jacket. I'm like, man, just wait till y'all hear the news, man. I'm not saying he's not going to sign with the Cowboys, but just wait till you actually hear the news like you heard with Baker today. You're like, okay, Baker's going over there. It's official. Wait till it's official.
And last but certainly not least, big shout out to Stephen White. Says, salute, Awthentik and The Beard. Okay, so it is Noor. I apologize.
Yeah.
I was just super excited because I've never met anybody who says Naur like I say Naur. So big shout out to Noor. We appreciate you.
Big shout out to Noor.
Bye. Appreciate you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. It's Week 13 breakdown.
It's the Week 13 breakdown. Now, did you see the post that Big Smooth 77 put up about Awthentik? He didn't tag you in it, but you were included in that. Obviously, he was like Awthentik and The Beard, best content creators on YouTube, and he put up a poll. Did you see that one?
No.
So
Why
it was
didn't you tag me in that?
I'll tag you in it when we get off, right? But it was like he pretty much gave us the shout out, best content creators on YouTube. Talked about the takes, the information, the graphics, the music, the look, all of that. And then the poll said, do you agree? Do you disagree? Or is it Daniel Jones' fault? Which way do you think I voted?
It's Daniel Jones' fault.
I disagreed, man. I think there's a lot of great content creators out there, man. Everybody does their part. We try to do our part over here to bring a more loose, kind of funner vibe to the whole community and whatnot. But I got to send a shout out to Talking Giants and Bobby and Justin, man. They do exactly what we do over here, right? And I described their podcast as this. I was like, y'all have a very, very smooth, calm way of kirking the F out. And that's exactly what it is with them. They know how to kirk but they stay calm. Like Bobby, you could just see it throughout this whole recap for the Commanders game. He's in his mind, he's extremely upset. But the delivery is very smooth and very laid back. So I had to commend them on that, man. Big shout out to Talking Giants. And what they did in the offseason for the Giants community is, no, we can't top that. We can't top that. So big shout out to them. And big shout out to all the content creators, entertainer, everybody doing their thing out here, man. Bad Dog, everybody doing their thing. Ash Money, Pest, Rob, all of y'all. Y'all all doing y'all thing. And I like what we bring to the community and what y'all are doing on Twitter, on YouTube, on Twitch. Everybody got their own lane, man. So I'm definitely digging the vibes right now, man. Football is in its peak right now. We entering week 14, bro. Already. It feel like we've been at it for maybe 5-6 weeks.
This is when you make your money, ladies and gentlemen. This is when you make your money.
This is definitely when you make the money, man. So we're gonna start with this game here between the Titans and the Eagles, man. This was a really good one, man. The Eagles really put the league on notice on this one. All right, man. The Philadelphia Eagles are now sitting at 11-1. Washington Commanders are the only team to give them a loss this year. The Titans are now sitting at 7-5. This game was pretty, we call it a barn burner over here. 35-10 for the Philadelphia Eagles in this one. Now, the announcer called this game, when the game was over and they were wrapping it up, he called this game a demolition. I was like, you damn right it was a demolition. And after this game, the Titans fired their general manager, John Robinson, today. I was watching this on the Pat McAfee show. I was floored by this news. And you know, I was like putting it together as they were saying it. And I'm like, general manager fired. Okay, that's really not that big of news. And then when Pat McAfee and them started discussing why he was probably fired, they said this: Titans head coach Mike Vrabel did not want to trade A.J. Brown, and general manager John Robinson did it anyway. The Titans ended up drafting Treylon Burks, who caught one reception in this game for one touchdown before he was TKO'd. He was looking like Zab Judah out there. This dude was stumbling on the floor. The Beard said, who was he looking like?
Oh, he's looking like Cuba Gooding Jr. and Jerry Maguire.
Come on, get it together. I'm going to need you here. He was looking like Cuba Gooding and Jerry Maguire. Now, A.J. Brown straight up destroyed the Titans in this game. Pat McAfee and them were speculating maybe there was a bet like, okay, if A.J. Brown comes out here and he destroys us in this game, you're fired, is what Mike Vrabel was probably saying as far as in response to John Robinson. A.J. Brown had 8 receptions for 119 yards in this game. He was averaging 14.9 yards per reception, 2 touchdowns. I'm going to ask you straight up and down. I need big focus here. You think A.J. Brown got this man fired?
100. I mean, before you even told me, I as soon as I saw the news, because you know I got the hookup with Rap and Adam. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as Adam hit me up, I immediately retweeted it. The AJ Brown effect, because like I mean, he literally the demolition is so spot on because he just blew everything up in Tennessee with that game. And I mean, listen, it's a money thing, it's a business thing. We talked about how he handled it very professionally. I mean, I think at that point in time, the ownership probably felt embarrassed that they lost like that to a guy that was on their team that they let go. And you know, you think about back, has there been a moment in time where a guy has had a revenge game so instant?
Oh,
you know,
my God. Not that I can remember.
And that, to me, I think that's like, you know, this goes right into the theme of this week of kind of like uncharted waters, very unprecedented sort of situations. I mean, the impact that he had, it wasn't like he had a good game. Like he was the star of the game. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's to say that it had no effect would be, you'd be lying to yourself.
Nobody would even say that. There's no way that somebody would say that had no effect.
There's no other, and unless he did something super sketchy, like he's about ready to get locked up, you know what I'm saying, or a story about to come up where he did something dirty, you know what I'm saying, like that. Besides that, there's no other reason to think that, you know, AJ Brown putting that stamp on that game didn't have something to do with it. I mean, it was just it. I mean, it's embarrassing. That's the best thing I could come up with. It was embarrassing because you let a guy walk, and if you look at the stats, AJ Brown has more receiving yards, I want to say more touchdowns and more 20 or yard or more receptions than every single Tennessee Titans wide receiver combined.
I mean,
this year.
that's just ridiculous. Yeah, he's having a great year. And I know a lot of people, they want to try to credit Jalen Hurts' success to strictly A.J. Brown, but he was doing this last year. Jalen Hurts, man, the way that he is leading this team, when I was looking at the highlights on YouTube from this game, right? Because I watched like the first half of this one, I kind of turned it off. Same thing with the Dallas game. I had to go back and kind of look at both of those games the way they ended. But the first comment on the Eagles recap on YouTube was the way that Jalen Hurts is leading this team so effortlessly. He's out here like he's not even trying. And this is the game where he put everyone on notice that might be saying, hey, Jalen Hurts don't got the arm talent. Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball. His statistics in this game are straight up ridiculous. 29 of 39 for 380 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, a QBR of 74.7. He also added a rushing touchdown in this game as well. They didn't even have to rely on the run in this game. Miles Sanders was the leading rusher with 24 yards on 10 carries. He had a touchdown as well. And again, A.J. Brown, 8 receptions, 119 yards, 14.9 yards per reception, 2 touchdowns. 2 of his touchdowns came on double moves. Both the touchdowns were on a double move, down, out, and up. And it wasn't your traditional down, out, and up where, oh, you sell that out route. You turn towards the quarterback and you sell it, then you go to the deep route and the DB tries to jump the out route. When he was doing his down, out, and ups, he was just bullying the defender. One of those cornerbacks ended up getting hurt on the down, out, and up, trying to jump the route. A.J. Brown just ran right through him, knocked him on the ground. They called pass interference on the defender. He's over on the ground holding his knee. A.J. Brown's down the field with no one near him, not even within about 20 yards, catching a touchdown where he's backpedaling wide open. This team,
and he
this
had caught a
Philadelphia Eagles
touchdown
team
pass
is crazy.
before that play, and that got called back.
Oh, yeah.
So he literally caught back-to-back touchdowns.
They went right back to it. And that's the kind of thing you can do when you got a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, because teams are thinking, oh, the Eagles are probably going to want to get the ball out quick. It's going to be a quick passing game. Jalen Hurts type of read option RPO. This is literally the opposite of what you saw in the Commanders and the Giants game. This is a team that is unpredictable. How do you stop a team like this? They don't even have to rely on these running backs, guys like Miles Sanders, what's my man?
Gainwell.
What's my man's name? Gainwell, Kevin Gainwell. That's his name. I was thinking our team.
Kenneth Gainwell.
Kenneth Gainwell. I'm thinking about my man from the New York Giants, the third-string running back, Gary Brightwell. They don't even have to rely on these running backs. And this is the thing. They've really shut down Derrick Henry in this game. 11 rushes for 30 yards. He was averaging 2.7 yards per carry. Ryan Tannehill is underrated. A lot of people would think that Ryan Tannehill is overrated. He's working with a terrible situation over there. There's been the drop stats going around on Twitter. Y'all know I've been sharing a bunch of these drop stats with people talking about the Daniel Jones and the drops. Daniel Jones entered Week 11. The New York Giants were number 2 in drop rate in the NFL. Ryan Tannehill and the Titans are right up there. Now, entering Week 14, Ryan Tannehill has breached Daniel Jones, I believe. He tried everything in his power to keep this game or to keep this team in it through about 1.5 quarters, I'll say, with absolutely no running game. But then it got to the point where he just couldn't do nothing. He was their leading rusher in this game with 34 yards on the ground, 14 of 22 for 141 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. And when you look at the QBR, you look at Jalen Hurts' QBR, he's sitting at 74.7. Ryan Tannehill's at 73. This is the kind of game that normally can win you a game. 14 of 22. I know the yards is not a lot. He was sacked 6 times on the day, man. The pressure was getting to him all day long. And this Eagles defense, man, this is a complete team. You've been telling me you still think this is probably the most complete team in the NFL. And I've been saying, maybe the schedule's kind of like leaning us a little bit more towards that. But the more and more the Eagles show improve, I'm starting to look at them like maybe they are the best team in the NFL. All we can hope for is that they could run out of a little bit of gas. Maybe something, one of the feathers on the wing starts flapping a little strange and they start coming back down to earth and you get that Eagle, bow, and the Eagles can maybe crash in the first round after the bye. We'll see. Right now, they are looking like the team that I do not want to play in the playoffs. I don't care who you are. Their matchups coming up, they're going to be very important, but it seems like this schedule for them is leaning towards them being the best team, obviously in the NFC, and possibly the best team in the whole entire NFL.
Yep. I mean, to me, hands down, they're the most well-rounded, complete team in the National Football League. They can beat you in so many different ways. And this was a great point right here. To go from 300-plus rushing yards to 300-plus passing yards in the next game. Like, it just goes to show you that you can do so much with the way that offense
Could you imagine,
is put
like,
together.
the Titans' game plan, right? Like, all right, guys, we got to do
gonna
this.
stop
They
the
just
run.
came off the run. We got to stop the run. And then Jalen Hurts coming out here just foo. And I want to show you the passing chart from Jalen Hurts because I did upload the passing charts from Next Gen Stats as well. They're setting people up with the short routes, and then they're just getting you over top with Jalen Hurts. I mean, look at this right here.
The number one thing I have, the first note I have under this game is 16 passing first downs. The Philadelphia Eagles had 16 passing first downs. They averaged 6.8 yards per play. And we talked about A.J. Brown, but let's talk about Devonta Smith too.
Yeah, he had a day.
I mean, between those two guys, 221 yards and 3 touchdowns. You know, and in the red zone, what do you talk about in the red zone every week about Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles?
Maniac.
2 for 2 in the red zone. 2 for 2 in the red zone. That defense held the Tennessee Titans 0 for 2 in the red zone.
I don't know how y'all beat them. I don't know how y'all beat them on Monday night. I kind of know how y'all beat them. It's Quez Watkins fumble in Philadelphia. Oh, my God. Hey, man, can I get the applause? Can I get the applause real quick for y'all?
Yeah,
I'm going to give y'all the applause.
Here it goes.
That's for the Commanders right there. How the hell did they beat the Philadelphia Eagles? How? They got one loss on the year, and it's to the Commanders.
Perfect game and a little bit of luck. That right now, that's all you're going to be able to do to beat this Eagles team. You know, it's going to be.
And you know what you can't go without mentioning? Time of possession. How many times do we see Jalen Hurts on the sideline that game with his helmet off? Like, when the hell am I getting back on this field? Washington, number 1 team in time of possession in the entire NFL right now.
That's it, man. Because their defense though is getting better. I feel like their defense has been good. Their defense is top 5 in the National Football League. I'd like to see what it's going to be after. I haven't checked out the new rankings defensively and offensively since Week 13 ended since last night. But I'd imagine they're still going to be top 5, if not better, right now. The Tennessee's a good team. They're a good team. So, I feel like a lot of stuff can be put to rest after this game. The Jalen Hurts can't beat you with his arm. That can be put to rest. Okay. The Philadelphia Eagles run defense can.
They can't stop the run.
Can be put to rest. The Philadelphia Eagles haven't played anybody. Narrative can be put to rest.
Yep,
you know what I'm saying? So to me, those are some big things. A big shout out to Steven says, is Washington's secondary better than the Giants? Not really. Why can't the Giants beat the Eagles? If Washington can, we can too. Washington won that game because their offense was mostly on the field. Listen, if there's one thing we learned from a tie, it's how damn near identical the Washington Commanders and the New York Giants are. So can the New York Giants beat the Philadelphia Eagles? Absolutely. A, it's a division game, so you got to throw everything out the window. B, if the New York Giants take a hard look at what Washington did, then absolutely, yeah. But the thing is like I said, I would be naive to think that the Washington Commanders beat the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday night in Philadelphia without having some luck. That would be
the one thing I think
person.
that Stephen Arce forgets here too is like when the first question that he proposes here is Washington's secondary better than the Giants? Not really, right? You could say that if everybody's healthy. Going into this Eagles game, I don't see Xavier McKinney being out there. I don't see Adoree Jackson being out there. I don't know about Adoree how it's going, but I wouldn't plan on seeing him out there.
Listen, you're going to need one of those guys.
Yeah.
You have to. If not, because I will tell you one thing I was super impressed about, and obviously we'll talk about this a little bit, and we've already talked about it also, is the defensive front from the New York Giants. And I'm not sure what Leonard Williams' situation is coming out of that game.
He was dealing with that injury that knocked him out, I think, in the third quarter.
Yeah, so I think it was neck strain or something like that. That's what it looked like when he was on the trainer's bench. But you're going to have to, if your secondary doesn't have one of those two guys back, your front of your offense is going to have to play its best game of the season. And when we played Philadelphia, what did I say? I said, we're going to have to play the best game of the year in order to beat Philadelphia. And, to a certain extent, we did that. But people will always forget about how much a defense relies on one another, okay? Your secondary has to play good coverage in order to get coverage sacks, Okay, if your front can't get to the guy quick enough, that means your secondary has to play to a certain level in order to give your guys in the front time to get to the quarterback. Okay, and if your guys in the secondary are struggling, your front's got to get there fast enough to where the quarterback can't find an open wide receiver. And let's be honest, Jalen Hurts, I mean, he's got to be considered. I think right now I would put Jalen Hurts as number 1 for MVP.
Whew. I don't know, bro. Them Patrick Mahomes statistics are just out of this world.
Listen. It's close.
In a year where they thought he was going to regress, without Tyreek Hill.
And before this week, I had Patrick Mahomes at number 1 in my MVP, right? You know what I'm saying? Ranking.
But I hear you, though. I definitely hear you, though. I think he's in that conversation for number 1.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is I hate to keep patting myself on the back. I hate to keep going to my accountant to pull out the receipts. You know what I'm saying? But I did tell y'all Jalen Hurts was going to be a top 5 fantasy quarterback this year. And
you said it.
We talked about I want to say it was one of the first episodes this year where we said the question was, who's the best quarterback? I don't know if it was on Twitter or if it was on the show. Who's the best quarterback in the NFC East? And I was so wanting to say Jalen Hurts. I said Dak Prescott, but by the end of the season, there's a good chance that it's gonna be Jalen Hurts. And I think right now Jalen Hurts has proven that he's definitely the best quarterback in the NFC East.
He's the best quarterback in the division right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just when after that Washington game, they lost to the Washington, and then they had that scare with the Colts. You kind of were like, okay, are the Eagles kind of coming back? And in the last 2 weeks, it's like, I mean, bro, like. Y'all got a tough matchup, and that Thursday show is gonna be really interesting because I don't have a game this week. So what the Beard's gonna do is I gotta pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Wazé, I gotta put together a roadmap for the New York Giants this week." So stay tuned Thursday night. Make sure y'all check us back out again 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Beard gonna come through with a roadmap for y'all.
There's only one roadmap the New York Giants have presented this whole entire year.
I gotta get the lab coat. I gotta pull out the Bunsen burner. Man. I gotta figure something out.
It's like pick you up. We're gonna be late today. That's what it is. It's definitely that vibe.
But yeah, so this was a statement game for not just Jalen Hurts, but the Philadelphia Eagles in general. And to me, they proved a lot. And I still think that comment earlier was just so spot on. Like to go from 300 plus yards rushing to 380 yards passing the next week. I mean. It just goes to show you that you can stop the run, but you gotta have to stop the pass. You can stop the pass.
You can stop the run, but you can't stop the one.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Bars.
Let's go to this next game, man. Got to talk about this game for like the 40th time this week. I feel like I gave y'all 4 hours on the Giant overreaction, venting about this tie. That was. Man, it's ridiculous that I still got to talk about this. It's not over yet. It's a bad dream, man. I got to wake up. Can we be in week 15?
Well, that's 16? What happens when you get a tie. It's like Groundhog's Day.
It really is, man. This is a butterfly effect all over. But let's go to this Commanders-Giants matchup one time.
Hits are on the board with 11:16 to go here in the third.
All right, man. The New York Giants and the Washington Commanders. Here we go. You got to talk about this one again, man. Game ends in a tie, 20-20. The Giants fall to 7-5-1. The Commanders are now 7-4-1, waiting for the New York Giants to lose to the Philadelphia Eagles this Sunday while the Washington Commanders are going to be on their bye. This is the first tie in 25 years. Last one was 1997. The Giants have 3 losses in their last 5 games, man. We are desperate for a win right now. Commanders, man, when you look at the stat box in this game, they look like they really should have won it, even though the Giants seem to be in control for most of the second half and had more opportunities to try to put this game away. The Commanders won the battle in time of possession. It was 41 minutes to 28 minutes. Total plays, 82 plays for the Commanders, 65 plays for the New York Giants. The Commanders had 25 first downs. The Giants had 20. Net passing yards, they had more. Rushing yards, they had more. Brian Robinson definitely had a day. And total yards, they had more. Both teams were pretty trash on third down in this one. Washington was 3 for 14. They were 1 for 1 on fourth down, though. And that 1 for 1 on that fourth down was extremely pivotal. It's the reason why this game wasn't a tie. The New York Giants were 4 for 13 on third down. And I just wanted to start this one off, man. and talk about the key moments in this game. Okay, and I'm gonna start it with your guy. I started the Giant overreaction. I talked about a couple of key moments from our squad, but I just want to know your thoughts on this whole sequence here. Taylor Heineke, 4th and 4 from your own 27-yard line, 2 minutes, 43 seconds left in the game. For me, this is the second time I've seen him do this in a game where it literally wins you the game pretty much. In this case, it tied you the game. But I just want to know, what are your thoughts, and why can a guy like Taylor Heineke make these kind of plays now, which seems to be a little bit kind of consistent when everything is on the line and you get a last-ditch effort? Seems like Taylor Heineke is showing up. I just want to know your thoughts on that one moment right there. What you think about that?
Okay, well, first of all, listen, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I wholeheartedly 100% was screaming at the television to punt the ball. I thought it was the absolute stupidest thing in the world.
Still had 3 timeouts.
Still had 3 timeouts and a 2-minute warning.
Yeah.
And you guys had 21 yards of total offense in that second half. So why are we going for it? I was so livid. But you know what? I asked for it on Twitter that whole second half. I said, listen, man, look. Here, okay? You're Taylor Heineke. This is what you do, right? Like, you're the legend. Go, I need you to do something. Pull some magic. There are no logical answers for why Taylor Heineke can do what he does when he does it. There's just not. Like, anybody who could sit here and tell you, oh, well, the guys play harder for him, and he's got that magic, and he's a gamer, and he's the underdog. Yeah, I mean, listen, this isn't a damn Disney movie, okay? So I don't know, bro. Like, it just.
Shout out to the Disney movies, man.
That's what worries me. That's what scares me. It scares me because eventually, right? In every Disney movie, eventually, you know what I'm saying? Like, my man, Lil Big League, right? Boom, bam, boom. Now he could throw 90-mile-an-hour fastballs, right?
You talking about rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year. Yep. He's throwing 90-mile-an-hour fastballs, and he's like 11 years old, right?
Yep.
But what happens? Eventually...
Rowan Gardner.
Yeah, Rosen Gardner. Eventually, his arm goes back to normal. And it happens at the most important time in the playoffs.
But what happened? What happened when his arm went back to normal?
He threw the lotion bottle ball. Like,
Looked at his mom in the crowd, and
yeah.
she was like, the floater.
But do you know the big difference between that and this? It's a Disney movie. Okay, this is the National Football League.
You said eventually, so I was thinking, this would be more like Mighty Ducks. Mighty Ducks 1 when the Triple Deke missed. But they always come back in a Disney movie and win. Is Taylor Heineke gonna do that?
Listen, I'll tell you this: if this ends up like a Disney movie, it's gonna be a Disney movie. You can guarantee that. You know what I'm saying? So there's no logical answer, and I know the New York Giants fans are probably tearing their hair out. I mean, when Curtis Samuel, when he was rolling out, I said,
there's nothing. It looked like there was nothing.
I knew he should have punted. And then all of a sudden, Curtis Samuel just comes out of nowhere and catches the ball. Curtis Samuel listen, and you know what sucks is that luckily we got a good core of guys, a good team, right? So the team is it's a team thing. But it sucks because when things like this happen, Taylor Heineke is the topic of conversation, whether it's the Taylor Heineke lovers or the Taylor Heineke haters.
Yeah.
But nobody is going to sit here and say Curtis Samuel made play after play after play at the end of that game, fourth quarter overtime. You know what I'm saying? And Jahan Dotson, Taylor Heineke is going to have the touchdown stat in the stat book, but Jahan Dotson makes that touchdown with the route and with the play afterwards.
Beautiful spin move. Good throw on the play, too. I give kudos to both of them on that one. Taylor Heineke was playing a decent game, especially down the stretch. Like, when we were talking backstage about this, you said that. Like, down the stretch, he was keeping y'all in it, but both teams were squandering opportunities. But, to answer the question I asked you as well, I just think Taylor Heineke's the kind of guy that, he plays off instinct. There's not a lot going through his mind in those big moments except, man, I got this. I'm going to get this done. And you know what that's like. When Taylor Heineke plays football like a kid. I always talk about when I played basketball as a youngin', I was so good at basketball in middle school because there was nothing going through my mind. I thought I could make any shot from the court. You can ask Chris Alvarez. One time when I first got to St. John's in 8th grade, I signed up late. So they put me on a team that was like the B-tier team, right? They're like, we can't put you on the A team. And Andy Kostenbader, his dad was my coach. He was like, this is what we're going to do. You're going to dribble the ball up court and play point guard, but since you're taller than everybody, after you dish the ball off, I want you to go in the post. Dog, I was scoring like 35 points, and my team would score like 39. I was shooting every time, and the confidence was ridiculous. Taylor Heinicke's the kind of guy that he's playing football like he's a kid in the backyard, and there's nothing to lose here. He's not acting like everything's on the line. The playoffs are on the line for the Washington Commanders. He's like, man, we got no more chances. I got to go out here and get this done or this game is over. And sometimes that can be a bad thing. Shout out to the homie E, the Chosen One, who was saying with the New York Giants, we have a reactionary quarterback. He kept saying that in one of the spaces, and he was saying we have reactionary coaches. He was like, the only time they really go out there and really take the shots and make the plays is when they have to. And y'all did that a lot in this game, too. It came down to Taylor Heinicke there, and he got it done. Without that drive, the New York Giants walk away with a victory in this game before overtime, right?
100%.
No doubt about it. Now, the other thing I wanted to bring up to you was I want to talk about Daniel Jones, who, and I'll give y'all both the statistics from both of these quarterbacks. Daniel Jones was 25 of 31 for 200 yards, 1 touchdown. He had 12 rushes, and he was the leading rusher for the New York Giants. He had 71 yards on the ground. The QBR was 31.8, okay, which is crazy to me because he has 6 incompletions, right? So why is the QBR so low? Now, Saquon was definitely not a factor in this game. He had 63 rushing yards. Outside of that 21-yard run, he really didn't do too much, 3.5 yards per carry on the ground. Taylor Heinicke had the benefit of having Brian Robinson almost go for 100 yards, right? 21 rushes, 96 yards, averaging 4.6 yards per carry. And the Giants struggled to stop Brian Robinson all day. When I was talking with the folks in the spaces, I was telling them, like, it seemed like every time Brian Robinson ran, especially through the first 3 quarters, he was getting at least 3 yards. There was no tackle for loss. Everything was, he was getting past line of scrimmage. Washington was pretty much dominating the trenches for the most part. And the Giants defense, the defensive front, was getting pressure on the quarterback. But when it came to sealing the edge and stopping the run, we had some big problems in that game. Now, with all that said, we know Taylor Heinicke did have the addition with the help of the run, and we know Taylor Heinicke has some real deal weapons over there with Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin, and the young kid, Jahan Dotson, who I really wanted him to be a New York Giant. But what I wanted to bring up here was these passing charts. I want to show you Daniel Jones' passing chart first, and I did this on the Giant Overreaction. There's 13 throws here that are behind the line of scrimmage. There's 5 throws that are over 10 yards in the entire game. Right? Taylor Heinicke, get the mental picture here. Look at Taylor Heinicke's pass chart.
Why is Taylor Heinicke throwing the ball 41 times?
And that is my exact question, okay? Why is Taylor Heinicke throwing the ball so much? And are we just simply saying that just because Taylor Heinicke has the weapons, we know he's not half the skill set, talent type of quarterback that Daniel Jones is, right? Is it just because he got the weapons? Or do you think that this coaching staff looks at that kid and goes, we'll die on it? He's been winning us games. We'll die on him throwing the ball down the field, where in return with the New York Giants, they're looking at it as a total that they have to play conservative. Why do you think that your team has that much faith in Taylor Heinicke to go out there and throw the ball 41 times? And we're not talking about no dink and dak, dink and dump type stuff. We're talking about this kid is stretching the field. Look at the throws down the right side of the field.
Okay, and those are all incomplete.
All incompletions down the side of the field. You look at the left side, look at the completions he's got there. He's got the short one to Jahan Dotson that was a touchdown, and the short one to Terry McLaurin that ended up being a touchdown. Both those were near the red zone.
You want to know what's interesting, though, is that I bet you before I forget,
I got you.
Big shout out to the guy who who I think would play Taylor Heinicke in a Disney movie.
Ooh, I don't.
Tuto! For the $4.99 super chat says massive salutes. Massive salutes to Awthentik and Beards, and for all Giants fans around the world. This is the week where you have to slap all stinky Boyd's losers out of front door hard and fast. Forget about it. Salute Italy.
Shout out
Big
to man
shout out
Tudo
to
in the
Tudo.
building.
Big
one
shout
time,
out to
man.
Tudo. Appreciate
I was thinking we
brother.
put Tudo at, edge rusher, middle linebacker or something like that. He said in the Disney movie, Tudo's playing quarterback out here. Okay.
So what I was going to say is, I wonder, so Heinicke threw the ball 41 times, right? Jones threw the ball 31 times. I wonder if the percentage of throws at the line of scrimmage, 10 yards and back, is the exact same between those two quarterbacks. Because I look at that chart too. From my perspective, right? It's interesting how you could show Authentic and me the same chart, and we're gonna look at it a little bit different, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because Authentic sees that chart, and immediately I know his blood's boiling. He sees Daniel Jones' chart, and he's like,
Oh my God.
Where are we at? Like, I can't. There's not like. And then you showed me Taylor Heineke's chart. I'm like, look at all those throws down there, right? And what's the first thing I say? They're all incomplete.
Right.
They're all
on the right side. On the right side.
On the
yeah.
right side, yeah. And then it's like, but at the same time, I feel you because there's a lot of passes at the line of scrimmage for Taylor Heineke too, which was infuriating for me. So like, it's like, do they have the faith in him? Yeah. You want to know why they have the faith in him? And I hate to say this because I know this is going to backfire on.
It's already backfired on you. I got the rebuttals ready right here in the holster ready.
It's not going to backfire on me. It's going to backfire on a conversation that a lot of people are having within the Giants community. Yeah. Why Terry McLaurin?
Okay, I'm not mad at that. So you're saying it's the weapons.
I mean, they feel as if because 100% there's no way that Taylor Heineke should be throwing the ball 41 times in a game. Okay.
Yeah.
And it scares the living daylight out of me every time he does throw the ball farther than 10 yards. So, but the reason why they do it is because they have Terry McLaurin. They have enough faith, maybe not even a coaching staff. Maybe it's just Taylor Heineke has enough faith in Terry McLaurin. You've seen the t-shirt. It's just, F it. Terry's down there somewhere. And it's a picture of Taylor Heineke with his eyes closed. That's the narrative. So I think that's the only logical
Do you think the coaching staff is encouraging him to do that?
No.
Because I think they are. And let me tell you why. Where did you see your most success in the passing game, you think, in this game?
The middle of the field, the slants?
The middle of the field, right?
Yeah.
How do you think that opens up like that? Did you see how many times our safeties were 3-4 yards behind the play? That's because you're throwing it down the field and there's a threat. When you play this conservative coaching style that the New York Giants are playing, you think they're looking at Darius Slayton going, oh, he's running that streak. I need to get over there. That's why he was wide open on the play where he dropped the ball. It's because they don't respect it.
But and that's the thing is that, like, if I'm the Giants coaching staff, I have to remind myself who's playing quarterback. You shouldn't be.
You got a guy that can gunsling.
You shouldn't be threatened by Taylor Heineke throwing the ball deep.
I mean, he converts deep. You see it with Terry McLaurin. They can connect.
Once a game, maybe.
Do you know I would die for once a game right now?
I know
what are you saying? I literally would give up my life right now for all my Giants fans for one deep shot that connected a game. Like 100%, especially if we could score touchdowns off it. When you stretch the field like that, you open up the intermediate passing. And that's where Washington succeeded in this game to me. You look at the Jahan Dotson touchdown. It's a crosser across the middle. You saw not the Terry McLaurin, the Curtis Samuel crossers on third down, picking up third down, the fourth down. It's opening up the middle of the field. And I think they're like, yo, if you see a shot out there, it's one-on-one, throw that thing. Whereas I think this coaching staff with Daniel Jones is saying, be conservative, even though that's not what they told us in the preseason. I was talking to The Beard about this. You remember in the preseason, they were like, oh, we're going to let Daniel Jones go out there and just make mistakes. Interceptions aren't a bad thing. We want you to try to stretch the field, throw the ball, especially in preseason. Throw these interceptions. And in return, we were seeing Daniel Jones throwing interceptions, right, in the preseason when we went out there for the fans who went out to Fan Fest and stuff like that, the scrimmage, all of that stuff. People were like tweeting interceptions in minicamp on a daily basis, right? We get out here to these games. This coaching staff gets conservative, and they don't want to call the plays to be able to stretch the field. But in return, which will take me to my next point, we talked about the Slayton drop a little bit, right? And when we did it live, me and you were both on the side of it being a very difficult catch. The 22-man Cam came out. He 1,000% has to catch that ball. It's wide open. Now, I made a comparison today on Twitter because I wanted to show people what it looks like when a play like that goes perfect. And you could go look at my Twitter. All you got to do is search Daniel Jones, Darius Slayton, and Awthentic. You'll find the tweet where I show you the Kansas City Chiefs running a similar scheme there with a 9 route right down the middle of the field, a good clear-out route. The way that Patrick Mahomes throws the ball, and for the fans that are saying, well, we can't compare Daniel Jones to Patrick Mahomes. I'm comparing the Giants to the Chiefs, and in return, you're going to get a little bit of a comparison of Patrick Mahomes to Daniel Jones. And I'll tell you why. I strive for the best, bro. I want my team to be the best team in the league. I want to be the team that's looking at it like how the Philadelphia Eagles feel right now, where they're like, God this man Jalen Hurts just lit it up with 380 whatever yards, 3 touchdowns. This dude's got a rushing touchdown. I bet you that's fun. I bet you that's extremely fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Right? So I'm going to compare my quarterback to the Josh Allens. I'm going to compare him to the Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to compare him to the Lamar Jacksons. Right now, when you see the way the Kansas City Chiefs ran that play, there's actually a YouTube video where you can just search vertical concepts from the Kansas City Chiefs. They have all from 1 year in there. And I just looked at a bunch of them. Man, there was one in the snow where Patrick Mahomes, that thing is on a rope. His wide receiver is giving you a lean to the left a little bit so that the safety can't get over in time. And it's perfect. The protection up front is perfect. If you look at the one for Daniel Jones, the left guard on that play, I think it's Glowinski who's in the game there. He's blowing the whole play, man. Jonathan Allen just straight up manhandles him and gets a hand in Daniel Jones' face, which I'm sure affects the throw. Yeah. Darius Slayton's coming out of that route. He starts to down throttle and kind of slow down a little bit. Then he looks back and he's like, oh, they're throwing a deep ball. My reasoning for that is one of two things. There was either an option route for him there or he's not expecting the ball. He's looking at the way the safety has it covered on him, and he's like, they're probably not throwing me the ball. We saw David Sills do the same thing early on in the year. It wasn't in the same position coming out of the slot. It was on the outside. But I saw him down throttle on the route, and I'm like, are they literally just running this dude out here as a straight decoy, just trying to get the safety to go over top? I'm striving for perfection. So for me, I wanted to use this time with this stream to just reiterate how wrong I was about that play when we did the instant reaction. And I'm the kind of person that if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm wrong. There's a lot of people that'll pump the brakes and start to duck back into the bushes like Homer until you don't see him no more, pull the Giants hat down, and you won't even know it. I'll tell you when I'm wrong on it. And I even went back to people who were being extremely disrespectful on Twitter when I said it, that I was like, oh, the pass is kind of high on that, which the pass was kind of high. We can get a better ball there. I'm not saying it's a perfect throw, but at the end of the day, Darius Slayton's got to catch that ball. And if we could get this team more in line, especially up front and with these wide receivers and with the quarterback, I think you won't be looking for this excuse to just try to deflect everything off of the quarterback. We can say, hey, we got the talent up here that can do this. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's not going to be perfect, and you got to find a way to make it and get it done. And I think that's where a guy like Taylor Heineke, a guy like Jalen Hurts, and it's weird to even put Taylor Heineke in the same bubble as a Jalen Hurts, right? It's very weird, right? But they both got one thing in common. They got that it factor where it's like, I don't care about the outcome of this play. I'm not scared of, as Bobby put it on his stream, the big bad interception. Ooh, like it's a boogeyman. I can't throw one. We can go out there and make mistakes all day. And in return, I think that's why this team, when the game went down the stretch there, I'll take you to the 4th and 3 that was in overtime with like just over a minute left. I think that's why the Giants punt the ball. You saw it last week against the Dallas Cowboys. The game is on the line coming out of the second half. Dallas Cowboys score a touchdown, take the lead. They're up 14-13. We need this possession. We're in their side of the field. We're at probably the same exact position, right around the 43. Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley can't find a way to convert on a 5-yard pass where Mike Kafka dials up a great play. Your quarterback has that it, but he don't got the skill set. Our quarterback has the skill set, but this coaching staff is also not putting the faith in him to go out there and make the plays. I would have rather have lost that game going for it on 4th and 3. And I know that if you don't get it there, you lose the game. But where's that energy? Where's the energy from week 1 that was like, oh, we're going for the wins? Because if you don't get the 2-point conversion against the Tennessee Titans, you're out of here.
You know, I half of me understands the punt there. You know, like I totally understand what you're saying though about, you know, going for it right there and having that mentality of winning the game, right? Like we talked about earlier in the year when they went to win for it, right? But they do pin them.
Yeah.
Thibodeau does get that sack.
I love the way you say Thibodeau. You like over enunciate that H. I love the way, because don't nobody in the Giants, everybody in the Giants community is like Tibbs, Thibodeau, Tibbs, and Beard comes up here. Thibodeau. I love it. Don't change it. Don't change it.
so you know, like basically Washington is on the 1-yard line, right there on 2nd down, like with time. So
and
it's
then
like,
what
it's
happened?
almost
Y'all
like
dug y'all way out of it.
We dug our way out of it. So you know, like, but you know, the mindset behind punting the ball right at that point, at 2nd down on the 1-yard line, it's proving to be the right move.
Why? Because y'all will punt the ball?
Yeah, and the field flips, and then you have a short field to kick the field goal to win the game.
But do the Giants even have enough time to do that?
Absolutely. If they stop them 3 and out.
I wonder how many timeouts they had there. And we don't stop them. That's the crazy part about it. So that's a big if. It's a big if.
It is a big if, but I'm just saying, like, 9 out of 10 times when you pin somebody and you have somebody on second down on their own 1 yard line, first of all, your play calling is extremely limited, especially with a quarterback like Taylor Heineke from your own 1 yard line in overtime, 2nd and 10. So,
and
like,
you know, it's crazy. Y'all dug y'all way out of it with a run.
Yeah. I mean,
to me, you know what it screams? Because you know at that point, to me, this is just to me, when you punt that ball with like 114 or whatever that was left in that game, you're saying there's no way we're going to win this game unless a miracle happens. We're going to play to make the stop and get the tie.
I understand that, but at the same, I'm not saying you're wrong at all, because I totally, like, that's how I would feel too.
I think it's kind of wrong. I know it. You know, analytics are going to tell you punt the ball. 43 yards, you can't kick the field goal there. It's too long of a field goal.
But you know how I feel about analytics. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you got to go with your gut.
Exactly.
I bet the analytics said don't go for 2 against the Titans too, man.
And I guarantee you, analyticals said do not go for it on 4th and 3 with 3 timeouts.
1,000%. It saved the game for y'all. It literally saved the game for y'all.
So, and the other thing I wanted to bring up too is you know, to kind of bring things back full circle to the Darius Slayton play and the passing chart, is because of that passing chart, that play is so magnified.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
my God.
If that passing chart looked like Taylor Heineke's passing chart, that play is not as magnified. It's still magnified because it's a big play in the game. Yep. But, you know, it's not as magnified just because of, you know, the situation that the game ended up being in. It's obviously magnified. Big shout out to Two-Toe for the $4.99 super chat. Says, Beards, I'm a top 10 power back.
My man.
Power
Let him know,
defensive tackler in rugby. Any offensive coordinator, quarterback, running back, nightmare. Tackle for loss, fumble, and break them. I love how Authentic and I had the same, like, charades go-to. Break them. Salute Italy.
Salute to Italy, and salute to Tudo, man, one time in the building. He had to let you know, Beard, I ain't playing no Disney quarterback. I go after the quarterback, brother.
Big shout out to ENA. We got time for the $4.99 super chat. Says, sorry I'm late, fellas. Listen, you don't never gotta be sorry for being late here. Don't worry. We're not football. We might play football coaches on YouTube, but we're not football coaches in real life. So you're okay, sir.
That's so funny you say that, right? I was where was I? I forget where I was at, right? And I just overheard a conversation from somebody, and they were like, if you're 5 minutes early, you're late. I was about to go up to him and be like, are you a New York Giants fan? Because that's a Tom Coughlin thing right there. I was like, pump the brakes, dog. You're doing way too much. You need to chill, bro. You need to chill.
I will tell you, last night I hope it gets here soon. I don't think it'll get here before the end of week 14, but I did just order a vicious new hat specifically to wear on this show. And I will
Commanders
tell you,
vibes, or you're not gonna let the cat out the bag?
No Commanders vibes.
Oh, just a different new vibe.
Coaching staff.
Ooh, okay. I like it.
That's all I'm going to tell you guys. So you'll have to wait and see. But big shout out to ENA. We got time. Appreciate the $4.99 super chats.
Big shout out to the fam. Okay. So we covered a good bit here. Okay. Overtime pump. We talked about that. What about the sequence before the half with Daniel Jones? Let's talk about that a little bit. What's your thoughts on that one?
I mean, that was just bad.
Wait. Real quick before we go to that, though.
Okay.
The punt. One last little asterisk on the punt. 3rd and 3, bro. 43-yard line. Everything on the line. Our quarterback took a sack.
I mean, he didn't. Yeah, he took a sack, but I mean, that was the corner blitz, right? Danny Johnson on that sack. I want to say that was.
I remember the pressure coming off the edge, and he had to step up because when he took the sack, he barely lost any yards on the play. And then 4th and 3, they come up with the punt and whatnot. I just think you need to be, and this is where I'm like, 43-yard line.
No, I'm saying aware. You need to be aware.
Oh, aware. You need to be aware. I thought you said where. You definitely have to be aware of what's going on there. Of course, something probably happened up front with the protection, right? We know that. And the offensive line, they didn't have their greatest day in it, with this game and whatnot. But I just think as a coaching staff, I'm putting more of this on the coaching staff than I am Daniel Jones because, this whole narrative of he's doing what he's asked to do. I heard Rob talk about that in the spaces too. And eventually you have to go above that, right? He compared it to doing, like your job has like a quota that you want to meet, right? The people that just get right to the quota, those aren't the people that are going to be great. It's the people that get to the quota and then breach the quota and they do more, right? But at the same time, I'm putting more of this on the coaching staff. You should have 2 plays dialed up right there. You should have your third down play dialed up. And if you get if that thing came down to 4th and 1 and they didn't go for it, I would have definitely lost my mind. Okay? But the fact that 2 situations that were key situations in this game where the Giants needed we needed points. 6 straight punts to end that game and a missed field goal. 21 yards in the second half of regulation. A lot of that to me goes on the coaches because you're not scheming it up. And in 2 critical moments, the 3rd down and 3 here, and then also the moment where they ran that weird, misdirection play with Richie James and Saquon Barkley and ended up bumping in the backfield. It's like, what the hell is going on? Y'all didn't practice this?
That right there was that's first of all, play call should never have happened in that situation. Second of all, the fact that it was called and it was executed. I mean, it wasn't as bad as the Ravens double reverse pass interception, but
that one was awful. They was desperate.
But it was awful. A blunder. It was a blunder nonetheless, and it just kind of makes me think about this when you talk about coaching, right? And then we'll get to the next topic here really fast. Yeah. It's just that, I didn't see anything that the Falcons succeeded on outside of Daniel Jones running that the Giants.
The Giants, you mean?
No,
I see what you're saying. You're comparing it to that game. Gotcha.
Yeah, that the Giants didn't capitalize on. I was so worried that the Giants were going to catch on to how the Falcons were double teaming and triple teaming Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen and how it was opening up the middle of the offense for the run game. And you saw that. You saw that specifically on the Saquon Barkley touchdown run.
Now, so look, when I talk to the kids in the spaces, right, I was telling them, that you guys are susceptible to runs right up the middle, and Mariota was having success up the middle. But I didn't put it together. That's it. What you're saying right there, that was it. The double teaming of your D tackles right up front, that's what created that space. That's a great assessment of why the Giants, every time Daniel Jones stepped up, he was getting hit.
It's just that's what was worrying me the most going into that game because I was like, damn, the Falcons are gonna put everybody, the rest of the teams that we play on notice with those sort of double team, triple team on Allen and Payne. But I didn't see a lot of that in this game. It was that just it reminded me of that when you started talking about the coaching because that definitely is something that you have to put on the coaching staff as far as not, coming up with a game plan that could benefit you guys and definitely hurt us.
And that is the weakness. That is the weakness of the Giants' offensive line. It's the interior portion of that line. Our left guard, Glowinski was just getting bullied all day long.
Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne too are they're hands top down they're the top 2 defensive tackles in the National Football League right now. There's nobody that's better than those 2 guys at their position in the National Football League right now.
I'm right there. I'm right there with you. Let's get to this super chat and then we'll
big shout out to Zeke Anderson for the Dubs super chat. It says, with a lot of gotta have it moments, the Giants choose to run either Barkley or Jones. There is a serious mistrust to have DJ throw in clutch situations. It's proof all over the season.
Zeke dropping them bars, man.
Yeah, listen, look, you got get the wrench out, okay? Get down on the one knee in the dad stance, all right? Kick. One side, kick. Other side, take those 2 training wheels, all right? You look at the kid and you say,
it's go time, son.
It's go time.
It's time. Yeah, man.
Okay, that's it. You got to do it eventually. We talked about this. We opened with this show. This is now going into week 14. You're in a playoff position right now. You got to start taking it to the next level. You see, you've already taken a step back. You know what I'm saying? Like all that game plan, the way you was doing things in the beginning of the year was working. But eventually there's gonna come a time where it's like, if you want to win, you gotta take the wheels off, man. You gotta go for it.
Yeah, and I think that speaks towards the whole entire offense. It's for me, it's like, yeah, Daniel Jones in these moments, I think a lot of people could just apply the pressure to him and be like, okay, you got to get it done at the quarterback position. But I'm also looking at Saquon Barkley a little sideways here after 3 straight games of mediocre play. This is what I'm missing from Saquon. You remember the Oklahoma drill?
Of course. I mean, yes, of course.
You couldn't tiptoe when you did the Oklahoma drill, right?
You would get hurt.
You would get hurt. I just missed those kind of runs. Where's the physical back we saw in 2018 who could definitely hit the hole strong and then was spinning off people after contact? I know he's dealing with the shoulder thing and they don't want to come out and say nothing about it. But when you just need a few yards, I know this offensive line ain't the greatest, but it's much improved from last year. Evan Neal had a game, okay? You should be able to rely on Saquon Barkley to get you a couple of yards. You should be able to just run the ball right up the middle, get it done. I believe, wasn't it a 4th and 1 against Dallas where the little out route was short?
Wasn't it? I think it was 3rd and 1, and then you guys lost a couple yards. I think it was 4th and 3, maybe.
It's either 4th and 1 or 4th and 3. I really want to know, because if it's 4th and 1 and you have no threat to give this great generational talent running back the ball, we need another guy in there. Matt Breida, no carries. Gary Brightwell, no carries. Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones are the only ones that had carries in this game.
Didn't you say something on the giant overreaction about how many times Saquon Barkley touched the ball in the second half?
4 times in the second half. What are we doing? Like, if we're not giving Saquon Barkley the ball and Daniel Jones is throwing the ball a ton behind the line of scrimmage and everything under 10 yards, like, what are we? We're not maximizing these possessions. And Fabian says it was 4th and inches in Dallas. And you got to resort to a pass play, man.
So that just goes to show me they're not just scared about Daniel Jones throwing the ball. It's almost like they were scared about relying on Saquon Barkley to run against this Washington defense.
Yeah, so then put in one of the other running backs, man.
Dude,
that's why I love Zeke Elliott. I know you got the Cowboys hate every now and again, right? But this is why I get down with Zeke, bro. Dog, you on the 1-yard line, you need a touchdown. You think the Cowboys are going to pass the ball on 3rd down and 4th down? Hell no.
I mean, they did run a quarterback draw with no time.
That's because they playing mind games with you. And if you have a running back that does the things that Zeke can do, then when you do play action, it'll work. Did you see when the Giants were running play action in this game, how y'all were like, man, they ain't falling for that crap?
Yeah.
Because it's not a threat. You run and play action when the running game's not working. When you got a back like Zeke, 4th and 1, you probably getting a quarterback sneak or you getting a handoff to Zeke. It's that simple. There's no way around it, which is why I've been saying for 3 damn years, can we get a power back around Saquon Barkley? Can we do the Mark Ingram or Alvin Kamara vibes? Most teams in the NFL are running a 2-back system. Why are the Giants so dead set on making Saquon Barkley this cowbell running back or this bell cow running back? Why is that?
90%, I want to say 95% of the league is running the 2-back system.
Dog, you got Derrick Henry. You got Derrick Henry.
I was just in my mind. Dalvin Cook is close. But Madison has been getting the ball, not enough to where it's like, it's not a exact, 50-50. Well, nothing's 50-50, but you know what I mean?
Right.
Like a one, a thunder and lightning sort of situation. But Dalvin Cook's up there a little bit. Even Nick Chubb has Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt they hadn't been using him a lot lately, but still he's there.
Damian Pierce seems like he's the main back over there.
100%. Yeah.
They got 1 win on the season.
It's crazy. Like literally, Saquon was the only running back to touch the ball in this game.
That makes no sense. And if he's dealing with an injury, mix in a couple. Just mix in a couple.
And especially after a week in which you saw some flash from Brightwell and Breida in the game before, you would have thought that maybe that would have been a calling to get them a little bit more, touches.
Kai brought up Josh Jacobs, who's going crazy this year.
Josh Jacobs is the number 1. He is this year's Derrick Henry. There is nobody else touching the ball at the running back position more per game than Josh Jacobs. He's the number 1 usage.
Really? So
he's
does
the
he have the
number one
most
usage.
carries? Because when I looked a couple weeks ago in attempts, he was like number 6 or something like that.
No, I think he's number one in
He's
everything.
number 1 in everything now.
Carries, yards, all of that.
Let me double check that because, man, you remember I talked about his pattern, man. He's 3 games going ape, and then 3 games he kind of gets a little bit, I wouldn't say pedestrian, but he just kind of falls back down a little bit. But
They say he's on pace. I think he's on pace at his current pace. He's on track for a 2,000-yard season. And shout out to Stan. He says 95% of the league is Beard. It's an actual stat. Okay, it's good to know.
Derrick Henry and Saquon and Josh Jacobs have the exact amount of carries this season at 242. And then it's Derrick Henry with 258. Josh Jacobs is leading the NFL right now with 1,303 yards. He's 200 yards in front of Nick Chubb. And they can't win a game. You know how we were talking about the league is leaning back towards the running style and all that stuff in the middle of the season? I'm over it. It's not facts. You're not going to win games like that. It's not sustainable. The perfect word for it.
You have to have some sort of balance.
Yeah. You got to be able to throw the ball in this league. You really got to be able to throw the ball in this league.
Big shout out to Sebastian for the $1.99 super chat. Says Zeke and Saquon aren't the same running back. Bad take, not gonna lie.
It's not a bad take. Let me tell you why it's not a bad take. It's because I'm not saying use Saquon like Zeke. I'm saying go get the back that's like Zeke. So I saw somebody in the chat say, imagine Saquon Barkley and Brandon Jacobs. Dog, Saquon ain't cut out for that kind of stuff. He's a hybrid running back. If you think it's a bad take, we just disagree. We'll just agree to disagree on it. If you think that Saquon Barkley needs to be getting 20 and 25 carries a game and then add him along in the passing game as well, to me, that's asinine. And that's why it's not working. It's why he's falling off as the season goes along and he's losing yards now. This game was the most I've seen Saquon get hit in the backfield because the offensive line also wasn't holding up. You saw these stupid little toss plays to the left getting blown up. Come on, we got to be realistic here.
This is the most he's carried the ball in probably 3 years, too. He's probably his body. I mean, even though his body is back, health-wise, as far as, the knee and the leg and all that stuff, he hasn't had this sort of workload in 3 years. So I'm sure eventually that's going to catch up to him naturally.
And they're never going to say nothing. Because, look, if they franchise tag him, they need to keep the value up. And they'd be doing him a disservice to talk about his injuries, even if they don't bring him back. They'd be doing him a disservice. I've been screaming for this for 4 years. I remember I got into this huge argument with Mike Too Nice on it, and Mike Too Nice was pretty much calling me an idiot because I was saying we needed another running back. I thought that a running back was a priority for the Giants. This was before we had gotten Devontae Booker, before Saquon Barkley tore his knee. Everybody's like, no, even this year going into the season, Saquon's got to get at least 20 touches a game and all this stuff. No, man. You got to use that dude like Alvin Kamara, man. Sean Payton was a mastermind with Alvin Kamara. And that's why Alvin Kamara ate. Alvin Kamara had a 6-touchdown game on Thanksgiving, man. Come on, bro. It's the same thing over and over. And then y'all wonder why people are saying like, oh, man, he's injury prone now. Saquon is a home run hitter, man. He's a great talent. I love Saquon. He's one of my favorite Giants ever. But they're doing him like they tried to do Reggie Bush. And look how that worked out.
Yeah. Didn't work out very well.
It didn't work out. And dog, is there anybody that has better tape than Reggie Bush from college?
No, I mean, I could give you some people, but to make the point, yeah, Reggie Bush was that guy. I mean, Noel Devine.
Noel Devine's tape was good, but that was from the wide receiver position.
No, he played running back at West Virginia.
A little bit. He was more of a wide receiver. I remember him because coming out of high school, Al Glay could not stop talking about that dude. He was
his high school tape was out of this world.
It was out of this world. But running backs, any like true running backs like a Reggie Bush, who else would you think? Because you watch a lot more college ball than me.
I mean, Reggie Bush was different.
I just remember them highlights. I used to just be like, yo,
different.
This dude.
He was so different. There really wasn't. There were good running backs, great running backs coming out.
I see a lot of people shouting out Chris Peace one time. Let me highlight this one. Chris Peace said, "How about going back to the style of Earth, Wind, and Fire when we had Jacobs, Bradshaw, and Ward? We have 3 running backs. We need to use them all." Yeah, I don't get the notion that somebody thinks that you need to just be using Saquon as the main running back. The proof is right there.
Steve Slayton was a dog too.
Steve Slayton was a dog.
at West Virginia. Yeah, he was something special. Now, this is a name that you're going to hear a lot of, and you're going to hear a lot about him. I don't think he's draft eligible this year. I think he has one more year he has to play before he's draft eligible. But this Bijan Robinson, University of Texas, he is special. He is special. So yeah, definitely that's a guy.
And I just think with the way that you value the running back in 2022, we know they're devalued now, right? They're like like when streaming for music came out, everybody was like, oh, this is awesome for independent artists and blah, 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 blah. Now music is devalued. Music does not have the same value as it did when me and you were kids, when we would buy albums, look at the credits, open up the packaging, all that, unpeel the plastic. It's not the same no more, right? You need the whole package of the artist, the image, the music videos, the content, the small content, the Instagram stuff, the real stuff, the vertical content, and all that BS, right? It's different. The game is different now. They just told you, Stan was in the chat, 95% of the league is running more than one running back. The information is in the data. It's in the data. It's in the data.
It's too easy. It's too easy, Awthentik. It's too easy, man.
God, man. Good God. I could accept it. I almost want to give you your money back, Sebastian, because it's like I can accept it if you just give me the take, but to say that it's a bad take to bring in a bulldozing running back with Saquon Barkley, bro, my mind is like literally, dog. I'm like, what are we doing here?
I think he thought that you were comparing their running styles together.
Hell no, man. Zeke and Saquon are nothing alike. When the last time you saw Zeke break open a big 50, 60-yard run? It just doesn't happen.
5 years?
Yeah, it doesn't happen. It just does not happen anymore. It's why you got to get another running back with Saquon. And I think we have him. They haven't even tested the waters with Matt Breida like that.
I mean, I like Gary Brightwell.
Carries.
I like Gary Brightwell.
Gary Brightwell's all right. I like Gary Brightwell. He's returning kicks for us right now as well.
Shout out to Chris Peace. Deuce Vaughn is 100% Darren Sproles, and it's ironic because I want to say Darren Sproles also went to Kansas State. Didn't he? Didn't Darren Sproles go to Kansas State?
I think so.
Yo, you remember Michael Bishop?
Yeah.
Kansas State quarterback?
Beast.
Yeah,
Ooh,
Darren Sproles.
One day we do got to talk about the quarterback situation, but I avoid that over here because, man, like everybody is always talking about the quarterback situation coming out the draft right now. A little bit too early, if you ask me. But, like, Giants got to figure this out, man. The coaching started off really good, and they were working with some scraps as far as the roster goes. They're trying to clip things and get rid of players that Dave Gettleman brought in. They're trying to retool this roster with no money. A lot of people like to refer to this year as year zero, right? Next year will be year one, where you could really see these, the GM and the coach really bringing the players that they really want. But, like, y'all brought in Matt Breida for a reason. And you know who else I've been thinking about a lot lately who was put on IR that we could really be using right now, man? Ricky Seals-Jones, man. We don't have that tight end that really stretches the field. But I love what Daniel Bellinger does, especially with how he can block and he can, do those chip blocks and kind of leak out to the flats. But y'all were all over that in this game. It's on the tape now. We late in the season, man. Teams know what you've ran and what you bank on trying to get yards with. You got to find a way to get creative. Remember I said my key to the victories last week, number 3, right, was Brian Dable need to have a trick up his sleeve. Did you see a trick?
I saw all sleeve.
All sleeve. All sleeve, dog. It was awful. And they got to go back to the drawing board. I saw somebody else talking about this in the chat, too, and I want to bring some attention to this. You know, people thought that I posted a clip that somebody, I think it was Diggy or somebody posted, I retweeted, and it was Brian Dable in the press conference. Bro, I don't know how old Brian Dable is, right? He's probably like 40-something or something, right? This man was sucking his teeth after every answer because he was so in his feelings about the questions they were asking about the game plan. Well, what are we doing here, bro? You are the leader of this football team, bro. You can't be out here smacking your teeth when you answer every question like you got attitude like you're in 7th grade, man. And people are like, oh, he's just, covering up and he doesn't want to let them know. Well, do the Bill Belichick vibe when you do that, bro, because when I see you doing that, a lot of this is on you, bro. You took the blame. You took accountability. He bailed out Kafka in this one and pretty much said, I agreed with the situation that happened before the half. He agreed with it. How, dog, kids that play Madden, it's 3rd down with 14 seconds left in the half. And you run a quarterback run with no timeouts, and then you try to scurry to the line to spike the ball. Could you imagine if somebody would have jumped off sides or something like that? How that would have looked?
Listen, they had faith. They thought, they said, listen, Hey, Daniel, go out there and get us a touchdown. Not with your arm, but with your legs.
God,
Run it in.
I hated it.
Be the man that you are.
It was the worst call of the year for me, bro. It was the worst call of the year for me. I'm just like, I don't understand. Wait, we don't trust I won't even just say just trust the quarterback. We don't trust our team to go out there and just run a basic route concept and see if we can maybe get a one-on-one matchup. You get a touchdown there, man. You're going into that second half. Taylor Heineke fumble, strip sack. Shout out to Ojulari. 10 sacks in 20 games.
Yeah. Montez Sweat style numbers, like in that sort of sack to game ratio. Yeah.
Good comparison. The defense did all they could do in this game. Strapped for talent as well, too. You know, the rookie Zion Gilbert, he definitely struggled in this game. But Azeez Ojulari, Dexter Lawrence had a 6 sack in this game, which caused Joey Sly to miss that field goal, which really could have been the difference maker, and the score would have looked a lot like what you predicted. You said 23-20. Kayvon Thibodeau got his 2nd sack. You know, we're looking for a little OCU Manura vibes there. We didn't get it.
Your defensive front is, I mean, they looked really good.
Against the pass.
Really good.
Yep.
Not against the run, but against the
Not
pass.
against the
Yeah,
run.
I mean, I want to say we hadn't been sacked. Heineke hadn't been sacked in 2 games, and I think he was sacked 5 times in that game by you guys.
Yeah, sacked 5 times in that game.
Yeah,
What you call it? Jihad Ward had a sack. Kayvon had a sack. And I forget the other homie's name, man. He got his first sack, actually. Ellis got his first sack in this one, too, as well. And then Julian Love, man. Shout out to Notre Dame. I know that's the gang one time. He had a great game. Without Julian Love, this game is nowhere near as close as it was. Led the team in tackles, 12 tackles, 11 solo tackles. He was all over the field. You know, it's unfortunate that towards the end of that game that, like, Fabian Moreau and I know another DB had their chance to get their hands on a ball that could have had an interception there that really could have ended the game. And, I mean, a game of inches. This is proof. This Washington Commanders game at the New York Giants is proof, man. It's a game of inches. And literally, in return, we got a damn tie, 20-20. I really can't believe it.
And shout out to the horrible officiating crew in this game.
Yeah, that was bad. That was definitely bad. It was definitely bad.
There's a lot of questionable calls, both sides of the ball, both teams. I mean, it's pretty bad.
Now, I just want to round this one off with, give me a percentage of your chances of making the playoffs. I'll do the same for my squad.
50%.
I'm going to say 25% for the New York Giants. That game in 2 weeks is going to be the one. Because you know, if we lose to the Eagles here on Sunday, Washington Commanders are going to jump up into that spot for the playoffs, and the Giants are going to be on the outside looking in.
I got a feeling about this week, New York Giants. I'm just going to throw that out there right now.
And I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I definitely hope you're right, because you owe us one. You know, you sent me the gnome here. Rivalry week.
Hey,
a lot of fans were saying I should break the gnome. I'm not breaking the gnome. There's no such thing as superstitions when it comes to football. You got to go out there and make the plays. That's what it is.
Yeah, in the chat, let us know what you think your percentages are for the Giants and the Commanders to make the playoffs. Hey, Rob.
Yeah, what's your thought on ours?
You got to come back on. No, he wants to know what my feeling is I have for this week. Got to come back on Thursday to get the feeling. But I think I put you guys at about. This is the thing. I'm gonna put you guys at 50% also. Okay. Even if you guys lose to us because of the Seattle Seahawks remaining schedule, right?
Yep.
And you guys have 2 games. You guys only have to play the Eagles 2 games, right? We have to play Dallas twice.
Yep.
What happens with Dallas? Because you know what we've been thinking about, right? Is because we get Dallas last game of the season, and we're hoping Dallas is playing, resting their starters. And you guys have the Eagles last game of the season. You're hoping that they rest their starters. Worst case scenario is if those 2 teams are playing for the division title in the last week. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to hope that Philadelphia has that, lined up. Oh yeah, we did play Dallas once, so we only had played Dallas.
Yeah, y'all got once, and we played the Eagles the last game of the year.
Yeah, and we played Dallas last game of the year.
Right. I don't think that they're gonna rest the starters. I really don't. They're on a roll, man. And we in the spaces we looked up some information about that, about the odds. Shout out to BT Giants, man. He was looking up some odds, and then it made me cross check what he was looking up. The odds of resting your starters week 17 and then sitting in the number 1 position, and you have the bye the first week, putting your all your players on rest for 2 weeks and then really 3 weeks you'd play in the third week is not a good idea. Teams have definitely failed in that situation. The Kansas City Chiefs are one of the only teams I think that have done it in the past 10 years.
Well, you also have to remember that, that a lot of that has changed over the last couple of years because now you have an extra week, so it's week 18, and then you also only have one bye because of the new playoff structure. So
but the gap is still the same if you're the number 1 seed. You just have the number 2 seed doesn't get the bye.
Yeah.
So you're seeing less teams do that. But all in all, with the last, 3 or 4 seasons, the number 1 seed is going to get that bye. The data is from the number one seed getting the bye, but also resting their starters in the last week of the season. It's not a good idea. It's a horrible idea.
He said people in the chat, God, our percentage is too low. When are y'all gonna make it? Damn it!
I don't know, man. It's not looking good.
I know Detroit is hot, but that's a lot of ground to make up.
What they sitting at right now? 5 wins?
I think so. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. There is a damn good chance that both Washington and New York lose every single game the rest of the season.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be perfectly honest. But like Seattle to me right now, I can't think, and I believe this too, R0. I believe this. I wholeheartedly believe this.
No way.
I think all 4 teams make it.
I don't see it, man.
Because this is the thing. Seattle is the only other team that's in there right now. Every other team that's in the hunt has a losing record.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Seattle still has to play San Francisco, Kansas City, and the Jets. So to me, that's it. Listen. Guys. There is definitely a way.
Yeah, and I agree with Monique on this. For one, I think you're too high on Washington right now. If y'all lose to the Giants, it's done. You're not beating the Cowboys last game of the season if you lose to the Giants. It's over. You still got San Francisco and Cleveland on your schedule with Deshaun Watson just trying to get warmed up here. If y'all lose, it's over.
No. If we lose to the Giants, we're out of the playoffs? Is that what you think?
Yes, it's going to be over for you there. Over, I'm telling you. It's going to be over for y'all.
I just said I understand. I understand that we can lose all of the games, right?
Yeah, and then the Seattle Seahawks, you talked about their schedule being tough with those 3 games. We looked at the other 2 games, the other 2 matchups. One's against the Rams, and the other one was Carolina Panthers coming up this week. They should beat Carolina. And I got faith in Geno, man. You saw that with everything on the line, bro. He's driving his team down.
So let's say they go 2-3. Let's say we should do like a playoff scenario show, but let's just to close it out. This.
Oh, portion. Sean G, I see you saying they could say the same thing about the Giants. Hell yeah, I ain't looking at this as no 50% chance for my team to get to the playoffs right now with the way the schedule's looking. We still got to play the Minnesota Vikings, bro. They are gonna slice this whole team apart, man. They can beat you in a multitude of ways, and then you still got the Eagles twice, which I'm looking at the Eagles right now as a powerhouse team. They just beat the Titans 35-10. We snuck out and beat the Titans off a missed field goal, bro. In week 1 at that. I'm telling you, you might be a little bit too optimistic here right now. I'm going to keep it real. I might be a little too pessimistic, maybe. I know I like to keep it realistic here.
That's what I mean. I feel like 50% is a good middle ground.
Dog, y'all lose that game on the 18th. It's big ticket in the basement for the Washington Commanders. It's Rap City.
What do you think the percentages are of a tie again?
I don't know, 0.5.
Hold on, wait, before I forget, I don't know how many of you guys were watching the Giant overreaction, but man, when Awthentik brought up the passing chart and then he gave y'all the look in the camera, I don't know if you went back and watched it, but man, that was a classic Awthentik face. Everybody in the chat.
Yeah, everybody was talking about the look. Yeah,
man. That's the look you're giving me right now at 50%.
Yeah, dog, you're wilding right now. You're 50% chance right now. Y'all on the outside looking in. You're talking about 50% chance. If the Giants, let's just say we luck up and beat the Eagles, you're done.
Right. Okay, you guys beat the Eagles and then we beat you. We're right back where we
That
started,
sound good.
50%.
You look at the box score of this game. You look at Taylor Heineke's stats and how good everything looked. Brian Robinson running the ball, 96 yards. Terry McLaurin, 8 for 105. I believe it's his third 100-yard game of the season, maybe his fourth. Had the 1 touchdown. Curtis Samuel, 6 for 63. This is a perfect game pretty much for the offense. And y'all ended up in a tie. Y'all had a 10-point lead and completely blew it, somehow allowed Daniel Jones and the Giants to get back into this game with 21 yards of total offense in the second half of regulation. And literally the only play the Giants had in this game that was really something was Darius Slayton's bomb that he caught. That beat y'all. Like, how in the hell did that I'm saying beat y'all, but how did that tie y'all? How did that tie y'all?
Listen, man, we still have a horrible offensive coordinator. Taylor Heineke threw the ball 41 times. That's the problem.
Yeah, but y'all had 85 plays or whatever it was.
Yeah, he shouldn't
How many
have
times did you run the ball? How many times y'all run the ball? 36 runs, bro. Of course, when you're losing the game after 36 runs, all right, we got to throw the ball. Giants keep punting the ball back, so you can't just keep running it. Giants are like, the commander's like, here, Giants, your turn. Giants are like, nah, we don't want it, bro. Y'all take it. 3 and out.
It's the Spider-Man.
Literally. That game, these two teams don't even belong in the playoffs after the way they played on Sunday.
Well, listen, our defense is good enough to be a playoff team.
I would say that about our defense too, but our offenses are, can't get it done. Because y'all should have got it done in this game. When you look at the box score, it looks like y'all should have got it done. When you watch the game, you're like, how the hell did the New York Giants not win this game? They were up by 7 for 4 straight possessions. And it was 3 and out, punt. 3 and out, punt. You saw we was done? 3 and out, punt. Oh, you getting used to the 3 and out punts? We'll give you 4 plays and get rid of the ball. Here you go, 4 plays, take it back. Nobody scoring. Taylor Heineke comes down to a 4th and 4 with everything on the damn line and finally makes a damn play and drives y'all down 90 yards to tie the game up. You couldn't have wrote this. No one could have wrote this script.
No, you couldn't.
I'm so appalled by your optimism here with your team. 50%, yeah. Man, I hope we kick y'all ass at FedEx Field.
That's a middle of the road, man. If you make it seem like I said 80 or 75, I said 50.
That 50 was your conservative vibes. I know it.
No, it wasn't.
I can't say 70 on the show. I'll say 50. 50 sound about right. I'll go with 50.
I felt like 50 was a good number, man.
Yo, Stan said we were up 7 for 25 minutes, bro. You couldn't get a field goal, and there was so many opportunities. You're like, Washington Commanders are like, oh, okay, you guys going to give us a field goal to try to, get closer and inch this lead a little bit closer? No, we'll just miss that. You guys can take the ball right here at midfield. You only need like 2 first downs and a Graham Gano kick, and this game's over. Awful.
Thank you. And now you're going to make me feel bad because I'm going to talk about the Cowboys here in a minute, but I appreciate
Oh, man, you know how you're going to do y'all. You know how you're going to do you. How about them boys? You know how you're going to do y'all. And I'm looking forward to talking about that Cowboys game because, man, I dug into those numbers a little bit too, and that game was absolutely ridiculous. We can wrap this one up?
Yes, wrap it up, put a bow on it, and I don't want to talk about a tie ever again.
Y'all running out of gas. I'm telling you, y'all running out of gas. And if Brian Dable and Mike Kafka don't come out in this next matchup against the Washington Commanders and handle business, you think I'm a little furious right now. I'm going to be Lawrence Fishburne, Furious Styles, when I show up to that stream on that Monday afternoon. It's going to be ugly if we don't beat y'all that next game because this is the game. This is the Dennis Green game. This is the we let him off the hook.
It's going to be Sunday night football. Have we ever been to a Sunday night football game for us?
I know we did Thursday night football a couple of years ago.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I don't think we've done Sunday night football before.
We've done a Monday night, I think, maybe once. We've done a couple of night games. It's hard to remember because it's always dark when we leave.
Yeah, I got footage from all the games so I could go back and look at the dates and double check. I don't think we've done Sunday night. I know we did Thursday and I think we did a Monday night, but I don't think we've done Sunday night. We'll see what it is, though. I'm glad I got to get that last out for this Giants game because we really let y'all off the hook. I can't believe they lost that game. It's a loss. Yeah, we don't have to correct it. It's a loss. The Giants lost that game. The Commanders tied it. The Giants lost it. All right, let's get into this Cowboys matchup real quick, man. All right, the Dallas Cowboys now sitting at 9-3. Who would have thought? You remember like week 3, we wrote them off. We said, are they done? We're like, yeah, they're done. It's over. They're sitting at 9-3, man. It's really ridiculous. The Colts are now 4-8-1. The Cowboys beat the brakes off the Indianapolis Colts, 54-19. I thought this was really interesting. You know how like they always making fun of Jason Garrett during the pre-games and whatnot. They're like, he kind of looks like a mannequin and he's just kind of like has no emotions and stuff. He said on the pregame show right before they wrapped it up with a straight face, the Cowboys are going to win this game by 40. And they looked at him, and then they cut the commercial break. No one even got a chance to react. They didn't quite win this game by 40, but I don't think nobody expected the Cowboys to put up 54 points in this game. The Cowboys, I think a good portion of why they were able to control this game, they only had 3 penalties in this game. And they were leading the NFL in penalties when they came into this one. They forced the Colts into 5 turnovers in this game. And I want to get down to some of these points I brought up here, and I'm going to toss it to you. I want to kind of recap the game just a little bit here. Now, this game was fairly close in the third quarter. It was very close, actually. Not even fairly close. It was close in the third quarter. 3 minutes to go. Score was 21-19 after the Colts missed their 2-point conversion. Dallas comes right back down the field after that, and they answer with a 10-play, 75-yard drive, take up 4 minutes, 51 seconds off the clock, enter the fourth quarter, ends in a touchdown with a pretty little short fade route. This is how you warm up. When I was in high school playing JV, this is how you would warm up with the little short 10 fade route, throw it to the back pylon. Beautiful throw by Dak Prescott. It's an easy NFL throw for real. And Michael Gallup comes down with the touchdown. They kick the ball off on the very next play. Mo Alley Cox ends up fumbling the ball, and Malik Hooker takes it to the house for a touchdown. The Cowboys end up going up on the scoreboard 34-19. I'm like, damn. And I wasn't even looking at the game at this point. I'm playing a little Apex. I'm working on a little video here for a client. I look to the left and I'm like, dang, I swore I just saw it was a 2-point lead. Take my eyes off the game. Matt Ryan get the ball back. It looked like he's kind of driving, trying to make a little run here, down by a couple of scores. Still a 2-score game at that point. Intercepted around midfield. Turns into a Tony Pollard touchdown. The Cowboys go up now by 3 scores. Colts driving again. Matt Ryan says that wasn't enough. Throws another interception. Zeke Elliott gets the 2 big runs. He's in the end zone. This man jumped in the kettle, man. He's eating in the kettle. He got the bowl of soup. I'm looking at him like, damn, the Dallas Cowboys, y'all been having way too much fun the past couple of weeks. And I don't know how to feel about that. Matt Ryan gets the ball back. He's like, I'm done with the interceptions. He fumbles this one. Malik Davis ends up scoring his first NFL touchdown. This game is over. The Dallas Cowboys scored 54 points. And when you look at the box score from this game, it's really interesting to look at the player-by-player stats here because I don't understand how they win so crazy and Dak Prescott only throws for 170 yards. He had the one little interception early in the game, but outside of that, he played a pretty clean game, 20 for 30. 3 touchdowns to 1 interception. Zeke Elliott had 17 carries. They gave him more of the bulk load in this game. He had 77 yards, averaging 4.5 yards per carry, 1 touchdown. Doesn't look like Zeke is breaking down. And it damn sure don't look like Tony Pollard breaking down. He had 12 rushes for 91 yards in this game, 7.6 yards per carry. You know what I would do for 7.6 yards per carry. I definitely wouldn't sell my soul, but God damn, the Cowboys are lighting it up. Tony Pollard had 2 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb was involved in the running game a little bit there, too. He had 2 carries. He did a little something. 5 receptions for 71 yards and 1 touchdown, right? Now, this is the crazy part. Matt Ryan was 21 for 37 for 233 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 3 interceptions and a fumble in this game. Now, I want to pull this up so I got this one exact for y'all here. When you look at the QBR, and this is why the Beard is always like, I don't like that QBR stuff. Matt Ryan had a better QBR than Dak Prescott in this game.
Yeah, see the QBR, man. Somebody has to I need to know the equation because how
Sway. That's exactly what I was going to say. Is how Sway. Micah Parsons had 0 sacks in this game, but the Cowboys they end up scoring 33 points in the fourth quarter. Man, it's the second most points in the fourth quarter ever. That's it for me for that game. I ain't got nothing else. Skip Bayless said this though. He graded the Cowboys 1 to 10. Shannon went first. Shannon
what did he give him?
He gave him an 8, right? Skip Bayless said, this might surprise you. I give him a 1. He said the Colts gave him that game. And to see his team struggling with a team like this, new coach, the Colts dealing with Jeff Saturday over there, quarterback is over the hill. He's gotta retire next year or just call it quits. Whatever you do, don't come back as a backup, Matt Ryan. I think it's a done deal for you. Skip Bayless gave him a 1 rating. I thought that was pretty crazy, and I quote him. He said, "I feel like I was looking at a pretender, not a contender."
Yeah, listen. All right, here's the good. Okay, here's the good for Dallas. Okay, when Zeke and Tony Pollard are at full go throttle and you can't stop them, this Dallas Cowboys team is a very, very scary team.
Facts.
Okay,
especially with that defense.
Especially with that defense. Now, this game, it was 21-19, not just in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, it was 21-19.
Yeah.
Okay, 21-19.
They were driving, though. The Cowboys were in scoring position.
They were in scoring position, but, I mean, listen, 5 turnovers. 5 turnovers. Now, did they force all 5 turnovers? That's the thing. So, 5 turnovers, they scored, what is it? I have it right here. 5 turnovers, they scored 35 points.
I mean, that was the difference.
Without that's the difference. Without those turnovers, you're looking at a 19-19 New York Giants, Washington Commanders game. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's a 19-19 game without those 35, points off of turnovers.
Yeah.
So that's the difference, I think, between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles, is that there is a way to beat the Dallas Cowboys, and listen, and shout out to Kai, shout out to Monique, shout out to Who Dem Boys, shout out to Texas Boy. I'm giving y'all flowers. I'm just not, the whole bouquet's not there yet. Okay.
Some of the flowers looking a little dead. They've
Some
been
of the
in the
flowers
giant
are a
rack
little
for
dead,
a couple of days.
Yeah. So the thing is just that Dak should have thrown a second interception. That one interception, that's all on Jeff Saturday, and that's new because it off of the reaction, it looked like it skipped off the ground, but it never skipped off the ground. It skipped off his hand and hit his chest. It should have been an interception, and Dallas knew that. That's why they ran up and ran that play really fast. But the thing is that obviously Dallas was really good on third down. They were 7 of 13 on third down, 4 of 4 in the red zone. And a lot of that has to do with, field position off of the turnovers, But they ran the ball for 220 yards.
Yeah.
They averaged 6.5 yards per carry. You talked about Tony Pollard's numbers himself, but you know what I'm saying? Flowers you pick from their own garden.
You picked them from their front yard, like, here you go. Knocked on their door, like, here.
Yeah. So for
Shout
me, I mean, I feel you, Texas Boy. There's no way from Washington and Giants are beating the Cowboys. Now this is understand. No, Monique.
Texas Boy said he want that smoke right now. Yo.
I gotta watch it again. But from when I originally watched it, I said, man, that's an interception. And I wasn't the only one. There was a lot of Twitter saying the same thing. Because it's easy to see what you want to see. And that works for me and it works for you too. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to see an interception. I want to see an interception. You know what I'm saying? But like, for me, this is the thing. Is Dak was 20 of 30 for 170 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, okay?
No. It's not on the books. You can't put those quotes on those 2 interceptions, bro. Taylor Heineke will be having like a good 10 of them things right now.
Taylor Heineke would have, he's Brett Favre. You know how this is.
That's his
interceptions. Man. Yeah. So, but no, Dak this is the thing, is that without that running game.
Monique is going ham on you, bro.
I know. Without that running game, I don't know how the Cowboys are offensively, and that scares me. But I will say the one thing about the Cowboys is they have figured out a way to kind of do better against the run game. Even though, Taylor had 82 carries on 21 yards for the most part,
Or 21 carries on 82 yards.
Yeah.
I know that's the kind of game you would like to see out of your Commanders, 82 carries. I know you would like to see that.
But listen, I just think that, I understand where Skip was coming from. And I talked about that before, going into this game, about how the Colts will cover this game. Cowboys will win, but the Colts will cover. They're going to give them a tough time. The Colts defense is a lot better than what people think. And the same thing happened with, the Colts and the Eagles. But I just got to tell you,
that
man,
one from Skip Bayless is a little crazy.
Yeah,
that's a little crazy.
That's a little crazy. I wouldn't.
And I think a lot of it had to do with Dak Prescott.
He's being hard on his team. You know,
yeah.
That's what that is. But I just think that there is an easier path to stopping the Cowboys than there is the Eagles, if that makes any sense.
Give it to me one more time. Easier path to stop the Cowboys than it is to stop the Eagles?
Yes.
You know, it must be fine right now to be a Dallas Cowboys fan and a Philadelphia Eagles fan. That's the matchup right there. That's the big matchup. Like, that's it. When do they play? When do they play again?
Christmas Eve.
Oh, my God. Somebody is going to get the gift of a lifetime when their team wins that game. That's a huge game. Both of these teams are striding right now. They're striding right now. And Dak Prescott and his offense didn't look great. But when you look at them in their last couple of outings, man, they look really good. And the thing about the running back situation that you're bringing up here is, you know, if you stop the running game between Zeke and Tony Pollard, I don't know how you're going to do that. I really don't know how you're going to do that. Teams struggled to just stop Tony Pollard when he was out here by himself. This guy was getting 100-yard games after 100-yard games after 100-yard games. Through the air, some on the ground. I really don't know how you stopped him. And then you get Zeke with the switch of pace, man. That's a scary football team.
I can't believe it took them this long to realize I know the run block, pass block, but I mean, damn.
Yeah.
I've been telling y'all, Tony Pollard is a dog.
But then look at what they're doing. They're not going all over egregious and just giving Tony Pollard all the carries. They're still letting Zeke lead the running back room. This is the first week, I think, in the last 3 to 4 weeks where he had the more carries. But I mean, it's a perfect recipe. This is what we want to see out of. Wait, because Zeke been back for what, 3 weeks, right? Of course he's not going to have more carries when you first bring him back in the lineup. You got Tony Pollard out here doing damage, but to me, it says a good bit about their coaching staff that they know Tony Pollard can break the big runs open, but they still don't go, oh man, we're just gonna give you your 20 right now, and we'll give Zeke 8.
What was the difference? It was 18
17 and 12. Tony Pollard had 12 and Zeke had 17.
Yeah,
it's that bruiser gang, man. It's exactly what I want in New York, and I think they're different style running backs. Tony Pollard is more of like the scat kind of back and doesn't do all the things that Saquon Barkley does, but the big play. Yo, Tony Pollard, man, that one game last week was the only time you really didn't see him break a big play off in a game. Like, he breaks the big play every game. And his touchdown run in this game, dog, he's supposed to be tackled. He's like, man, get off me, dog.
Yeah.
Like sweat. Just threw him off him like it was nothing.
It'll be interesting, man. I see both sides of it. And like I said, like, I want to make sure that, you know, Cowboys fans here, Kai.
Where were the flowers, though, man? What were the flowers that you gave him here?
I gave them the flowers in the beginning of the breakdown.
Well, I'm just saying, like, what were they, though? What were the flowers?
The flowers were the accolades.
I heard Dak Prescott interception. He should have had 2 air quotes. You know what I'm saying, dog?
I said that when the Cowboys are running the ball like they are with Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott, and they're in this lane, they are a scary team with that defense. I don't even know if
those are flowers, bro.
That's why I said it's not a full
man,
bouquet.
When Awthentik in the studio cooking, man, his albums is real dope. But when he ain't cooking, I don't know if that's flowers, dog. Let me take a look at this pass chart real quick from Dak Prescott, because this is one I really didn't look at too much. I want to see what this looks like. Ooh, looking like Daniel Jones a little bit right there. It's a lot of short throws.
Yeah, he only has 1 throw over 20 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a interception X missing over there.
Attacking the right a lot, man. Attacking the right a lot. The interceptions are the red ones.
Yeah, I know. There's one missing.
Oh, come on, bro. You really going there, dog? You really going there, dog? He told y'all he's going to give y'all a little hate. He told y'all. At least he warned y'all, you know? What is the saying? All is fair in love and war, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Listen, we already know the Cowboys have a good defense. And I will tell you, Trayvon Diggs, once again, got you. If you are a team playing the Dallas Cowboys and you're not running double moves, you're a bad coaching team.
Oh, yeah. And that one was close to the goal line early in the game, right? They were on like the 6-yard line.
Matt Ryan gave him the Cat Rooney.
Yeah. I'm not mad at the aggressive play there. I like it.
I'm not mad at it, but I'm just saying, like, that's an opportunity as a coaching staff. Like, you know he has a tendency to do that. You need to attack that.
Yeah, for sure. And that defense is very hard to attack. You know, that's why I brought up Micah Parsons not having a sack in this game. I think he had 2 tackles on the day, 1 solo. But you're talking about a defense that can do this, help your team put up 33 points in the fourth quarter, and really your best player's not having his best game. That part was so surprising to me. I thought he would have been all over the field, 3-4 sacks, maybe like a strip sack, fumble, take it, pick it up, return it.
That's why I said they didn't really force them. You know, they played a bad team, and it took them 3 quarters before they took advantage of a bad team. And it did. They did take advantage. They scored 33 points in the fourth quarter. Like,
let's compare it a little bit to the Philadelphia Eagles, because they struggled with them as well. Is that do we say the same thing about the Philadelphia Eagles?
Well, okay, so Kyle Metcalf is saying that I'm hating on style. They scored 54 points 2 weeks ago. Philly barely beat the Colts.
I didn't even see him say that. The
big difference is this game was exactly the same as that game until the fourth quarter. Absolute disaster of a collapse by the Indianapolis Colts.
You think it was more of a collapse on the Colts than it was the Cowboys stepping up with their defense?
They turned the ball over 5 times.
Yeah. But you saw when I did
all the credit away. I'm just giving them some credit. You saw when I did the breakdown, though, right? How it all happened. Yeah.
When I first started, I told you they missed a 2-point conversion, and Dak Prescott answered with his best drive of the game. So now you're up by 9 points. Matt Ryan gets a turnover, and then the Cowboys score again. What do you think the defensive game plan is from there on out? Let's pin our ears back and go get this bum. Why you think it panned out the way it did? To me, that's not a collapse from the Colts. That's the Colts got too far down on the scoreboard, and they were forced to throw the ball. And the Cowboys got one of the best defenses in the league. Do you think, and I'm asking myself this question too, you think the Cowboys got better defense than the Eagles?
I don't think the Cowboys have
is going to be fire.
I don't think the Cowboys have a better defense than the Commanders. I think the Cowboys are the 4th best defense in the NFC.
Oh, in the NFC. Yeah, you clean that up. I thought you was about to say in the NFC East. I was about to say you clean that up real quick.
Nah, I think San Francisco's number 1, Eagles number 2, Commanders number 3, and Cowboys number 4.
Yeah, Kai, I'm with you. He's smoking that pack right now, dog. Said 50% chance for the playoffs. He said the Commanders got a better defense than the Cowboys right now. The Cowboys, man, they thrive on those takeaways, man.
I mean, they do.
Benny said, talk your shit, Beard.
But it's not very consistent.
So let's go back. Let's go back to what Kyle was saying here before we move on, right? So you just praised the Eagles in a major way, right? So did I. This Cowboys team did exactly what the Eagles team did. The Eagles were down worse. They were down 13-3 in that game entering the fourth quarter with the Philadelphia Eagles against the Indianapolis Colts. The Cowboys were up in this game 21-19 pretty much at the start of the fourth quarter. They put that bum team away.
They did. And kudos to them. They did what they were supposed to do, and they did it.
Yeah, I don't think we could sit here and look at it as a collapse. I would have been leaning more towards if you said 50-50. I'd have been like, all right, yeah, they collapsed a little bit, and the Cowboys took advantage of that, and they did what they had to do.
I'll give you that. 50% collapse, 50% Cowboys taking care of business.
That Cowboys hate, boy. Somebody said come over to the dark side.
I gave y'all flowers, though.
I asked you what the flowers was. You was like,
Big shout out to E&A. We got time for the $9.99 super chat. Says, real quick, I got blocked by Parsons because I asked him about not solely lining up against Andrew Thomas. Didn't call him out, his name or anything, but BT, can we bring up him? Oh, but can we bring up him disappearing in games? Also, Bosa, Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, man, I saw the statistics of Bosa in comparison to Micah Parsons, and it's in one less game, and his numbers are just better. Their quarterback pressures, pressure rate, win rate, sacks, tackles, tackle for loss, everything better, everything. But Micah Parsons, man, they're both, man. They got that Terminator vibe, man. Terminator 2 when the cop was chasing them. They give me those vibes, man. You got to keep your eyes. I hope Kayvon Thibodeau can develop and become a player like that where it's like, hey, we got a game plan to stop that guy.
Yeah.
And we saw a little bit of it in this Commanders game. Kayvon was getting there, man. But dog, Bosa and Parsons, they next level talent.
Yeah.
I put Watt in that category for the most part when he's healthy as well.
Yeah, I think Watt's probably the best defender in the best defensive player in the National Football League when he's healthy.
Ooh,
I don't think it's close. I don't think it's close.
You know what I'll do? Because I don't know if you saw the numbers in comparison that came out today. There was a graphic running around Twitter with Bosa and Parsons. To me, I think both of them are probably above Watt because they're just a little bit more ferocious. Just a little bit more. Watt's a great player. I put him at 3. Halfway through the season, I was looking at Micah Parsons like he's the best defensive player in the entire league.
The difference between Watt, Bosa, and Micah Parsons is Watt will single-handedly win you a game. I don't think Bosa and Parsons are in that realm of that situation. And that's not to take anything away from them. It's more so of a praise on Watt. But Watt will win you single-handedly, give the Steelers a better record by himself.
You know what? I don't think we can say that about Micah Parsons. You remember the game where it was not double digit, but it was multiple sacks, and he had the play where he picked up the fumble and had the heads up play to go run it in the end zone.
That was against the Cardinals.
Those plays win games. I don't know who it was against, but that's a play that'll win a game for you because not only do you flip the whole field position by getting the ball, but you have the whereabout to pick it up and go run it in the end zone like you're a damn running back. Yeah. I think all three of those guys can wreck a game. All of them can.
All of them can wreck a game. And you've heard me multiple times give absolutely nothing but praise for Micah Parsons. He is a dog.
And I see Kai is talking about it a little bit in the chat. You know, Kai, I can always admit this, and I think I'm going to bring up a funny story about Twitter, but I didn't watch the second half of this game that much, and I didn't have my eyes on this one like with a keen eye. He's saying Micah almost had a pick, and he was in Matt Ryan's face all day. So what we'd have to really look at is the pressures that he had in this game and see how he really did. Now, I will say this. I saw that Dan Orlovsky tweeted something out this morning, and he was like, in the segment, he was talking to his panel on the Get Up or whatever it was, and he was saying something like, did y'all not watch the game? And then literally a sentence later, he was like, you know, I ended up turning off the game in the second half, and the Colts were up 21-19. It's like, bruh, that's my man. I get down with Dan Orlovsky, but you cannot be that hypocritical talking about, are y'all watching it? And you going to sleep literally in the second half when the Cowboys are running this thing up with 33 points in the fourth quarter. I'll take Kai's word for it. Kai is a Dallas Cowboys fan that I can 1,000% trust. A lot of people saying Micah Parsons disappeared. I trust Kai on this one.
I don't think that's a thing at all. When you're a player that the caliber of Micah Parsons, right? And I used to have to use some of this similar philosophy when defending Chase Young, right? When you're a player like Micah Parsons, you never disappear, okay? Because if you're not, say he's not getting sacks, right? There's not a chance in hell that he's not commanding a double team and not getting sacks. Yeah. So by him commanding a double team, he's allowing somebody else a chance to get to the quarterback. Therefore, he never disappears because him being there is demanding a double team. And by demanding a double team, you're helping your team. So in no way would I ever say that a player of his caliber disappears because no matter what, you're affecting the way that the game plan is being executed by the opposing team. Therefore,
I like that. The beard's coming out the bushes on y'all one time, like, I'm back. That hater might pop out.
And so to me, like, that's the thing is that like people who say stuff like that, it's like people who say that you have to have a sacks to make some impact on a game. I hate that.
It's why a lot of people outside the Giants community are saying Thibodeau's not having a great year either.
Like
people want to count the stat boxes as far as sacks go, and you know that's what it is for an edge rusher.
So
you do got to
much
get to the
more.
quarterback.
You do, but there's so much more that goes into it.
Oh yeah,
those pressures. What forces a turnover more so than a sack is a pressure. Pressure forces more turnovers than sacks.
I call them equal.
Yeah.
Because a sack, especially if it's blind side, man, you get that strip sack.
Fumble.
You saw it with your boy
you get that pressure, you get that hand up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who knows where that ball's going after that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think they're a bit even. And I wanted to bring up a couple ones that somebody said here. I gotta scroll back just a little bit. Somebody was saying, this one right here from Gregory. You know what this from?
Hate. I know what this is. I can't.
I think Gregory talking about this, but this is from the Haters Ball from the Dave Chappelle show.
Yeah.
They would all chant, after they,
That's what
they
it
give you a
is,
little Joan, a
100%.
little joke. And then I like this one too. I want to kind of respond to this
hey.
one from How About Them Boys? We go into the championship game. Bucks don't stand a chance against us. Vikings don't either. Eagles the only competition in the NFC with Garoppolo's injury. I hate when stuff is true.
Listen, okay, all right. I will do my best to play devil's advocate here, right?
Here we go. Here it come, y'all. Hey.
Now, Vikings, I'll give you because I'm not a big believer in the Vikings. I think the Vikings are they're winning games. So let's you got to give them flowers for winning games. But I think they're out of all there's only 7 teams in the NFC that have winning records. They're right there on the level of the Commanders and Seahawks and stuff like that, right?
The Vikings?
To me. Yeah, Vikings.
Whoa.
Yeah. Now,
whoa.
Yeah. I mean, they should have lost to the Commanders. Let's just be perfectly honest. But we don't do shoulda, woulda, couldas here. Now, Tampa Bay. Now, absolutely, would you be favored? Yes. Should you be favored? Yes. Does anybody in their right mind want to play Tom Brady in the playoffs at home?
If it's anybody, it's the Dallas Cowboys. If it's anybody, it's
Okay.
the Dallas Cowboys.
All right. I mean, they already lost to Tampa Bay once this year, didn't they?
How Tampa Bay did they?
They lost to Tampa Bay this year, didn't they? First game
Did
of the
they?
season.
I can't remember. I'm really asking because I can't remember.
I think
to be
so.
honest.
I think so. Unless I'm thinking about another year. So to me, that's the only thing. But would you be favored? Should you win that game? Absolutely.
Wait,
so
I got your point on that one. Don't move on from the Cowboys yet. Don't move on from the Cowboys. and the Bucks.
I'm going to the last part of the thing. The Garoppolo.
No, that's what I'm saying. I
injury.
want to give you a bit of information about the Bucks.
Okay.
They stink right now. They barely snuck out against the Saints, man. If the Saints don't blow that game with that Mark Ingram play, they don't even sneak out of that game. They just got beat by the Browns and Jacoby Brissett, bro. What are we talking about here, man?
I'm talking about playoffs.
They might not even guarantee win that division.
I mean, I think that they'll win
Beard
the
is
division.
throwing shade on the Cowboys today.
Listen, I think everybody in the chat would agree that nobody wants to play Tom because you know what happens when you go to the playoffs, right? Everything else that happened before the playoffs gets thrown out the window. Everybody's 0-0 when the playoffs start. So you want to face Tom Brady 0-0 in the playoffs in Tampa?
Not if I'm New York or Washington, but if I'm Dallas or Philly, let's go. I'm confident in that game.
Yes, you're confident. I understand that, but I'm
This
just
ain't the same
saying.
Bucks, man.
It's not. But I'm just
the Buck stops
saying.
here.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. That playing Tampa Bay at home. I'm not saying you're going to be afraid of them. I'm just saying playing Tampa Bay in the first round at home is something that we got to all tip our hats to, that there's a possibility, right? Okay, Vikings, I give you that all day. Now, Garoppolo, that defense, though, that San Francisco defense, Garoppolo ain't playing defense. Garoppolo is not playing defense. So that might be a 13-10 sort of matchup that it would come down to whose defense performs better. And if Dallas can outplay San Francisco's offense, which they should be able to, then yeah, I give you that. But I think if I had to rank it, NFC in the playoffs, I mean, Vikings I'll give you, then the Bucks, and then San Francisco and Eagles. Those are the order of teams you face in fear.
Yo, dog. Okay, let's bring up Fabian real quick.
Big shout out to Fabian for the $2 super chat. Playoffs, a whole new breed, dog. You know that. Yeah.
The Beard likes that, I bet, right? Bro, the Carolina Panthers are 2 games back of the Bucks right now.
Yep.
The Atlanta Falcons are 1 game back of the Bucks right now. They're not even guaranteed that they're going to be in the playoffs right now. Now, I'm not sitting here telling you that the Bucks can't beat these teams because we know any given Sunday. But you're insinuating here that teams don't want to play them. They're not as good of a team this year.
I know that.
Unless you get playoff Lenny out of nowhere. and Mike Evans starts to do some damage out here, Julio Jones can do some damage.
They don't call him playoff Lenny for nothing. I'm just saying. He brought up the Bucks. I didn't bring the Bucks.
I know you're just saying, but I'm also just saying that is ridiculous to say that the Cowboys and the Eagles would be frightened to play the Bucks in the first round or the second round.
I'm not saying they would be frightened. I'm just saying that
you said they don't want to play
Tom Brady.
You know, I'm a Giants fan, bro. Tom Brady don't scare us.
Exactly. You a Giants fan. They don't know about that. Big shout out to E&A. We got time. Take the name off the jersey. Nobody talking about Bucks. Tom hasn't been good, and the offense really isn't good. We got to take him for what he is now. I agree with this, but I also disagree with this. If you look at Tom Brady threw his third interception of the year. He's got 20-plus touchdowns and 3 interceptions. If that ain't good.
Is it 20 now?
I'm guessing.
It was 14 entering last week.
Oh, then, yeah, it's not 20. Was it 14? I thought he had more than that.
It's 16 now. Yeah, it was 14. He got 16 and 3 interceptions. And, bro, I showed you the passing chart before we went live for Tom Brady, didn't I? Do you remember who I compared it to?
Yeah, Daniel Jones.
Yeah, it's awful. He was throwing the ball 2 and 3 yards the whole damn game. And they barely snuck out and beat Andy Dalton and the Saints, who have God knows who outside of Olave, a wide receiver. Rashid Shaheed had a game. You say it like he's a household name. This dude
he is here at Awthentik and The Beard. He's a household name here.
I tried him on fantasy for 2 weeks now, but that didn't work out at all, man. This dude putting up zeros back-to-back weeks. I'm like, I can't keep this guy on my team. He had a game yesterday. He's a rookie. I think he'll be a weapon in the future, but it's Andy Dalton.
Hey, man, you was telling me Andy Dalton not that bad.
No, I said Andy Dalton has a high passer rating and his QBR is pretty high. Andy Dalton is QBR. Come on, dog. It's Andy Dalton, bro. Come on, man.
Hey.
Come on, man. You know I got you, Ian. You know I got you. Could you imagine if I was supporting this behavior right now up here?
Look.
Come on, man.
Cowboys fans agree. Beard not lying. I agree with the Beard on this one.
No way, bro. No way. Here's the thing is the Cowboys and their fan base are so used to losing in the playoffs. So I know y'all just spanked the Minnesota Vikings, and that looks like the better matchup. You don't want to play them again. Y'all know how the playoffs go when you play a team like that with that kind of power again after they got tape on how y'all kicked their ass. It won't be the same game. So we're more scared of the Bucks than we are the Vikings. Hey, shout out, how about them boys one time? But I just want to make this clear. We're more scared of the Bucks in the playoffs than we are the Vikings.
Who? The Cowboys?
I'm asking
people
you
in general.
Opinion. Your opinion. And the chat. The chat can let us know too. We're more scared as a Cowboys fan and an Eagles fan. We're more scared of the Bucks than we are the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay, I'll just put it like this. Tom Brady.
Here go the politician answer right here. Here
Kirk
come
Cousins.
Herschel Walker.
Tom Brady or Kirk Cousins in the playoffs?
We just gonna dismiss Justin Jefferson?
Yeah, yes, we are. I'm asking Tom Brady or Kirk Cousins? I'm
gonna go Tom Brady.
Okay.
But the supporting cast, man, you know, in New York, all we do is complain about weapons.
Hey, man, but somebody's gotta be there to put the bullets in the weapons. Who you want loading your gun, Tom Brady or Kirk Cousins?
It's my guy right here, man. My guy right here talking that good stuff. If I'll keep it funky with you. If I'm a Giants fan, which I am, I'm a diehard one, right? If we're going up in the playoffs, I'd much rather see, and we get to see the Vikings, later on in this season, so it's going to be a great test. I would much rather see the Bucs right now. Much rather. And not just because of the history and all that, not just because of, what Eli Manning did with the streak and all that.
Okay. If I had Dak Prescott instead of Taylor Heineke, I would much rather face Tampa Bay than Minnesota. But because of Taylor Heineke is my quarterback, the last thing I want is to get into a 2020 game with Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's if you're a Washington fan. I feel you.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the Eagles and the Cowboys here. It's a high-powered teams with really good defenses that know how to get after the quarterback. The formula is pretty simple if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that Minnesota defense is wretched.
Yeah, they're bad. Their pass defense especially is bad. It's definitely bad.
They almost said the Jets come back down 4 touchdowns. If the Jets had any sort of red zone offense, I want to say the Jets were 0 for 6 in the red zone in that game.
And Mike White was making some throws in that game too. Mike White looked like he all right, man. This Zach Wilson guy.
Zach Attack might not be back, Jack.
Zach Attack might need to pack his bags and get the hell out of New York. That's what might need to happen. That's really what might need to happen, because I don't understand how you get this guy off the bench and all of a sudden the offense is moving. Oh, Garrett Wilson, man. Mike, you see the Odell Beckham, like, crossing route that he caught and just...
He's a dog.
That dude is a dog, man. How did we miss? Oh, God, New York Giants. How did we miss on a first-round wide receiver draft pick?
Feel me? Minnesota's on the same tier as Giants, Commanders, and Seahawks.
The Seahawks is not in the same tier as the Giants and the Commanders, I don't think.
You think the Seahawks are better than the Commanders?
Yeah. And it starts right at the quarterback. Geno Smith he doing his thing.
Yeah, but their defense ain't even close to our defense.
Yeah, defense ain't doing their thing. Yeah, but they're keeping games close, and they're keeping games close enough for Geno Smith to go out there and win them. It's going to be so great to see the way that the season kind of unravels here, because it's no easy road for nobody.
Yeah.
Giants got the tough road. Commanders got the tough road. And we get to see each other one more time. The Seahawks got a pretty tough road. I wonder what the 49ers, I wonder what the rest of their schedule looks like. I want to take a look at their rest of their games as well, too, before we go off. See here. Oh, man. Bucks got to play the 49ers again. Yo, I want to look at the Bucks schedule and the 49ers schedule. The 49ers got to play the Dolphins. Oh, no, they just beat the Dolphins. So they got to play the Bucks. Then they got to play the Seahawks. Then they got to play y'all. Then they play the Raiders, who surprised the hell out of the Chargers. I don't know how the hell they won that game. And then they play the Cardinals to finish off the season. Pretty tough. Bucks got, oh, man, it's going to get dicey down the stretch here. It's going to be
fun.
dicey.
It's going to be so much fun.
The Bucks got the 49ers. Tell me what you think about what games they win here. Bucks got the 49ers. You think they win? Backup quarterback.
Tampa Bay or San Francisco?
Who you picking in that game?
Where is it at?
Oh, where is it at? It's in San Fran.
I take the 49ers.
Okay. Then they got to play the Bengals. Who you taking in that one?
Bengals.
Okay. Then they got to play the Cardinals.
In Tampa Bay?
Nope.
I'm taking Tampa Bay. I'm going to take Tampa Bay in that one.
So you can even things out. But I know. Watch when we get to the parlay every Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Watch the Beard pick the Cardinals. Watch. I promise you he's going to pick the Cardinals on Sunday. Okay. So you pick the Bucks to beat the Cardinals. So that's one win in the next three. Panthers, we'll get the Bucks to win, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And then they play the Falcons the last game of the year. It's about to go down, bro.
That division winner is probably going to be 7-10.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's say you got them beating the Falcons. Let's say you got them beating the Falcons.
If the playoffs are on the line.
Playoffs on the line.
Yeah, I'm taking Tom Brady.
So that's going to give them what? 3 more wins? 2 or 3 more wins. That gives them, you gave them against the Cardinals, and you gave them the Panthers, and you gave them the Falcons. So you got them going 3-2 in their last 5. They're sitting at how many wins right now? 6? So that kind of goes against your 7-win narrative. Catching them. I'm catching them. I like it. I think they lose to the Falcons. If they don't lose to the Falcons, they'll lose one of those other games in a fluke fashion. Like the Panthers, they'll lose a game to the Panthers. Panthers ain't that bad.
Listen, I want the Panthers to take care of the Seahawks this weekend. If we're giving Panthers fluke wins, let's give them wins against teams that we matter. Seahawks. Okay?
All right, and the Falcons just have 4 games left. They just lost to the Steelers. They got the Saints, Ravens, Cardinals, and the Bucks.
Wait. Who's this again? This is
for the Falcons.
Falcons. Okay. Who they have?
Saints away.
Okay.
Ravens away.
Okay.
They play the Cardinals at home and the Bucks at home.
I give them 2 wins out of that.
2 wins, and I think
we're gonna go spades. 2 with a possible 3.
2 with a possible 3. Okay. So if they were to get the 3, because they're sitting on Falcons have 5 wins right now, I believe. Let me see.
What if the Carolina Panthers end up winning that division and Sam Darnold gets to play a home playoff?
They 2 games back. They 2 games back. And they have the same amount of losses as the Falcons. So is their bye the last week of the year? Is that what it is? Maybe I just missed one. Because there's no buys that late. but their bye is going to be coming up here because they're 5-8, but the Panthers are 4-8. The Saints are 4-9 at the bottom of that division. So if we give the 3 wins to the Falcons, the 2 possible 3, you're looking at 7 or 8 wins for them. But you gave the Bucs 3 wins, so that's going to be 9 and 8 to finish the year. So you got the Bucs finishing out. Kai said the Falcons winning out. How about them boys said the Falcons going 3-1 in that stretch? Oh, we know you want the Giants to take care of the Eagles this week, Monique. We know you're trying to get to the top of that division. We know.
So what's the Seahawks final games?
Seahawks got I can't believe they beat the Rams in that game. It came back. That was so good. They got the Panthers this week. W, if you ask me. 49ers. Should be a close, tough game with the backup quarterback. Then they got the Chiefs and the Jets. You talked about that stretch. That's the tough stretch right there. And then they finish out the season against the Rams.
So let's say worst case scenario, they go 2-3.
Yeah, let's go with that. I'm with that.
What does that put them at? 9-8, right?
They're second right now in the NFC West with 7 wins. So 2 would put them at 9-8. Yep. They have the tiebreaker over the New York Giants. So that would mean that the Giants would have to get in over them. If y'all are in, we would have to breach that 9-8 record and get to 10 wins. It's about to get dicey, man.
So y'all need 3 wins then. 3 more wins.
If that goes down with them, yeah. Oh, my God. I have this weird feeling that we're going to be the odd man out. Shout out Ebony One Gambler in the building one time, man. Salute on that big win, bro. 50+, that's major right there, man. New face in the building.
It's gonna come down. This is the best time because now we're digging, and we're diving, and we're crunching. Who's gonna make the playoffs?
Stephen R. said if the Giants beat Washington, that Vikings game will give flexed out to primetime and Kirk will choke. That's a really good point. Yeah, but oh God, Daniel Jones is 0-10 in primetime games. You sure about that?
Daniel Jones.
The battle of the primetime choke artists, yo. That's going to be a terrible game. Oh man, this is Kirk Cousins' really last go at it, man. To not fold here, man, down the stretch. This is last go at it. I feel like, man. Yo, God. The truth be hurting, dog. The truth be hurting. It was a good season for y'all. We'll see y'all next year.
50%.
That's brutal. I'm a bit speechless, man. I think I'm out of gas now. I'm out of gas. We broke down all the schedules. I'm glad we did that. Because that really put things into perspective. So our expectation here is that the Seahawks they got a 2 possible 3 books. Yeah. What about Washington? What games are you picking y'all to win?
Listen, I will
that listen is gonna buy him some time.
I will be honest with you. How about them boys? I told Awthentik, and I believe I mentioned it even in the stream. There's a 50% chance that Washington doesn't win another game.
I'm with you. That game is huge. Oh my God, Daniel, please, man, please. Brian Dable, put this game plan together, man. Sneak me a win. You think he was waiting for the trick up the sleeve for the Philadelphia Eagles, man? I hope so.
I mean, he better take off both of those sleeves like Bill Belichick if he wants.
Oh, God, man. I know, right? Cut the neck, all of that. Man.
Don't worry. I'm working on a roadmap for you guys, okay?
We're definitely going to need it, man. We're definitely going to need it. Kai, I'm about to have nightmares about that message you said right there. It's a good season for y'all, man. See y'all next year. God damn.
And then he came back with a great episode, gentlemen.
Double tie. James Funk said double tie. And we get another tie.
Bro, now that's like going from algebra to calculus when it comes to breaking down playoff situations after that.
Yo, wild. Oh, man. See, I didn't really get to put that all into perspective. We just did that live on the show. I didn't do too much research on the playoff picture here and what's going on. That is ridiculous. That's ridiculous, man. I will admit this. That was a great show. That was a great show.
Thank you very much.
Shout out to Nora one time in the building. It was fun. That we could definitely say that. And it's going to come down to that game. This is what we asked for, the Beard.
It is. You want to know? I kind of have like roller coaster butterfly
Yeah,
thing.
I feel you, bro. Can you imagine what's going to feel like Saturday night before the game, and we're going to be there? I'm skipping week 14. I'm already at week 15, straight up. The Beard better come up with a great roadmap because I'm thinking week 15 already. I'm like, well, got to beat the Commanders. We're definitely going to give y'all some live content some way or another. We're going to find a way, whether it be a recap that we produce and edit, or if we try to do something live, at least at the game. We'll try something. I mean, our last time we were in the stadium, our phones were getting service, so maybe we could pull up, maybe leave the StreamYard running before we dip and then just pop in as a guest and, have somebody add us or something. I'll get somebody on deck to get to be able to do that for us.
Shout out to the chat. We appreciate you guys.
Monique, you coming out to the tailgate this year? It's going to be tough, man. This is going to be tough. Steven said, Dable ain't having none of that authentic. We don't look ahead. Yeah, Dable better not be looking ahead. The way he was looking in that press conference, like, I think, well, why you asking me these questions? Jordan, I hate you, Pat Leonard. You're dog. Come on, dog. Come on, dog. We can't be doing that. We can't be doing that. You can't show up to the press conference angry, man. This is why me and the Beard, when we go live, I always be like, hey, show up in the StreamYard a little early, man. I got to, let some steam off real quick. Talk a little shit here and get it off. And then I'll come onto the stream with cool, calm demeanor.
You got to watch, who's the best? You got to watch Coach Taylor in Friday Night Lights TV show. He always knew how to say things, when to say things, and what things to say.
They gave me that Tudo look. I've been thinking about getting a little piece of paper and printing out just be nice right here at the top of my studio, just to remind myself, man, don't come in too hot. You know what I'm saying? Keep it cool, be nice. That's why I commended Bobby and them from Talking Giants, man, because they were at the game. Bobby was like in his coat with the Giants beanie on and everything, literally at the table as they're doing their recap of the game. And I'm just like, yo, you better than me, bro, because I don't know how you kept it cool after that tie. You go right to making content, and you're assessing the game with a cool, calm demeanor, but still kirking the hell out. Respect, man. Respect, because I would have, don't catch me. You saw me on the instant reaction. You saw how I was, bro. It was hot.
I saw you today, too. Needed 40 minutes. Oh,
oh my Giants. Oh, God. We'll see, man. Good show, The Beard. Good show. Good show. Good show, man. Good show. You see, I'm getting used to that mirror. I'm getting used to that, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Left side is in the building.
Strong side.
Hey, man,
throw some biceps in the chat.
Throw some biceps in the chat, because this is going to be one for the record books, man, because you are not high on the Minnesota Vikings. You think you want to face, the Minnesota Vikings over the Bucks. I'm a little bit opposite there. Playoffs are just right around the corner. Kai, if it's up to Kai, my New York Giants, we're done. It's been a good season. It was good, y'all. It was good, man. I really appreciate y'all. I really appreciate all the insight. A lot of laughs today, man. Kai says, as a Cowboys fan, I'm off the OBJ hype. He playing too much. He been playing with the New York Giants for a minute, too, man, doing all this social media trolling and whatnot. I'm kind of over it, too. If he shows up, he shows up. We'll see what happens here, man. But definitely a great vibe on today's show, man. It started with a bang when we were talking about Tennessee Titans firing their GM, and A.J. Brown definitely got him fired. That was a foolish move. And then we dove into that, Giants-Commanders game again. Went to the Cowboys-Colts. The Beard threw a lot of shade during that segment. Tried to bring it back down to earth,
Hey, man, listen. I threw some flowers in there, too.
I knew you were going to say that. You gave them their flowers,
shade,
right?
Flower, shade, flower. A nice little mixture.
I think it was more like shade,
flower,
dandelion. Shade, hate. A little more shade. I only saw like one dandelion. I'm going to keep it real with y'all, man. But big salute to y'all, man. We appreciate the biceps and all that, man. Appreciate y'all rocking with us. The fam was in the building heavy, man. A 2-hour show. The stream's been getting crazy because it's a lot to talk about, man. Appreciate you pulling up. How about them boys, man? You've been rocking with us now for a couple of shows. Definitely salute to you. And big win for your Cowboys, man. I told the Beard before we got on air, this was one of the most interesting weeks, man, in the NFC East with the tie and with the two blowout games between the Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys there. Great vibes, man. We appreciate y'all. Y'all know how we end every show here, man. Keep living those dreams. Keep raising that bar. I had to remind myself that today. And the universe flows in Technicolor and surround sound. Shout out to the podcast GOAT, Combat Jack, man. Rest in peace to the GOAT one time. James Funk still talking about them rotten flowers. Beard, any last words? It's the last time you could talk about this Week 13 recap.
We're going on to 13. We're going to Week 14 now.
We're on to Week 14. Who do y'all play
14.
again? Oh, y'all, we're on to the bye. We're on to the bye. Y'all be good, man. We enjoyed this show a whole lot, man. Enjoy the rest of y'all week. Catch us on Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. That preview is going to be on fire. The Beard's going to have a roadmap for y'all. Enjoy y'all nights, y'all. Peace.